We'll talk about my bad.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? It's Friday night. So obviously I have a good friend of mine here, and it's kind of a hangout. It's a wrestling hangout. Obviously, we're streaming on my platform, we're streaming on his. Obviously, my name's Andrew, I'm with Keenan, and we're gonna be talking about wrestling. So yeah, a lot's going on, to say the least.
Too much to even count. What do you? I mean, just taking in that. Do you think they're trying to get because Triple H is jacked up, but they're pushing? I feel like they're trying to push us in a Triple H, The Rock showdown at some point. That's gonna.
I don't know, right? It's so weird how we got here, right? Because WWE is in a really good place, but they're also in a really shitty place too.
What I like is what the whole CM Punk Cody Rhodes thing. Like AEW had these two dudes on their roster, and it's like having Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. You didn't do nothing with it. Like, come on, man. Like that might be the fundamental issue with AEW is that you had two of the top stars, two of the biggest draws over on the other network right now. It's just, and I mean, do you think Cody Rhodes is really hurt, or maybe just like, hey, Cody, we need you to take a backseat. We got too much shit going on, Cody. You gotta be hurt for a minute. Take a break, Cody. We'll pay you. Just take a break.
So obviously, I mean, let's just address the elephant in the room. The whole Vince McMahon thing was bad, and then it got worse, and then it got really, really worse. And he's not even in with the company anymore, but it's still bad because it questions and it definitely paints a negative light on everything. And the only person that can divert attention from that is The Rock. That is the only person who can pull attention away, especially with CM Punk being legitly hurt. I think Seth Rollins is kind of hurt. And you kind of are in a really rough situation where what do you do now? And I mean, this is where we are in wrestling, but WWE has a lot of money. It's insane.
What is it they get? What is that new deal they just made for Raw on Netflix for like what $1 billion for 5 years?
5.5 billion. So basically, the deal for those who don't know is that it's a 5-year deal, and there's a 5-year renewable on it. So Netflix can renew it, and so basically they can pay $550 million, to renew it. So it's 5.5 over 10 years. But the question is that it might not be the whole 5.5, but it's going to be a lot of money.
Say what you want to. Netflix is super smart latching on to the WWE and say, "Hey, let's put this out live." They don't do live programming. Even though I just watched a cooking show live on there. They're trying out a cooking show to start with. But I mean, what they get a couple million viewers. That's a good starting base on Netflix, and you make it easy and right there, no commercials or just limited commercials. I mean, I don't know, man.
It's not even that. For me, and full disclosure, I bought Netflix at $227. So I own Netflix's stock. I own WWE stock. And people made fun of me on my own show for buying Netflix. And I'm like, you guys don't get it yet. They own the content. Like Amazon owns content and they own this space. And for me, Monday Night Raw on Netflix it's smarter than that because now you're on Netflix and it's 11:15. Do you really think you're just going to turn off Netflix? You're going to go and say, what else is on Netflix? I'm not tired. And you might watch another thing on Netflix and it automatically creates views. It's so smart.
They can create their own kind of YouTube, like a little because dude, I don't watch Raw. I catch up like the important stuff. I'll watch YouTube clips and stuff, but Netflix can do their own little clip show afterwards. Like, hey, you missed Raw? Check this out. Because there's a crap ton of viewers like me that are only half-ass fair weather viewers. I catch up with a lot of stuff in clips, Jim Cornette type stuff. I'm a Jim Cornette mark all day long. Like, I'm probably gonna spew out a lot of his same rhetoric. Like if you listen to Jim Cornette, you're probably gonna hear the same shit from me.
I've loved Jim Cornette in TNA. I loved him. I loved what he was running. I like his like Southern. I like what he says. You know, maybe I wouldn't say it the same way, but he's got some fair points.
Fair points or not, the wrestling knowledge. I mean, they just. When I was a kid, dude, wrestlers had terrible hairlines, beer gut bellies, dude. Like they were actually attainable. It wasn't until this whole Hogan dipshit came in and ruined it for everybody trying to like look tough and like, hey, look, I'm so pumped up. Like I'm more of the fuck, of course I'm spacing on his name right now. King. I hate this. I feel like people say you should script your show. Oh yeah, I should script writing
King
down.
Kong Bundy?
Huh?
King Kong Bundy?
No, he was the guy that you wouldn't mess with. I'll think of it later. It'll pop in my head, dude. Let's not. He's one of those like Ric Flair. He was the champion of the NWA for a minute. He was the WWE champion. He won the King of the Ring. Dude, I know. I'm saying everything but the guy's stupid name. Let's move on, dude. Let's move on.
So I am curious, since we're just going to talk about it. I mean, the whole Vince thing is why we're in this mess going into WrestleMania. Because, and look, I'll just state it. It might get me in trouble, might get you into some trouble, but I don't think Vince is quote unquote sex trafficking. Do I think that he abused his power? And I say this because I think when you bring somebody across a border from another country and you're going to be putting them into quote unquote, selling them to use for sex, I think that's the definition of sex trafficking. Did Vince cross the line? Maybe did he do a sexual assault?
I don't think me and you should get into that type of issue. I think he definitely had some influence and used his power in the wrong way. I think all the little details, that's where me and you can get bogged down in. I mean, you got a dude like John Laurinaitis saying, I was scared. I had to come on, man. You were a freaking professional wrestler. You can't take using, no, Vince, I'm not. Come on, man. Like, you're an old, crusty dude. Yeah, Vince, I will totally be with this lady. Oh, twist my arm, Vince. I mean, let's. And
no, I'm not saying that. I mean, it's crystal clear that Vince crossed the line. He's no longer with the company. But the issue is that Vince McMahon is WWE to a certain degree. And this is why we got into the whole Rock issue, because you need to divert attention away. And the Netflix deal isn't canceled. Their TV deals aren't canceled because Vince is out. And I think those companies understand that Vince has been out of creative for a while now. But you do need to shift the gear. And this is why we have this whole shit show. What was it, the WrestleMania pre-show or the WrestleMania football?
That was the worst. As soon as The Rock came out and Cody was like, I've been talking to a lot of people, and then he said, I am gonna finish my story, but not this year. I was like, well, what the hell are we gonna do, man? And now they're like they're pivoting to, I mean, what are they gonna? I mean, what in this elimination chamber? Are you gonna see The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins? Like, what are they going? Like, what's this whole like? I got you, Rock. Like, isn't Seth Rollins hurt? Like, he's barely gonna be able to defend his title for WrestleMania. Like, I thought that they were just trying to push it to where he could give up the title so he could go get better. Like, but it seems like they're trying to pump up. Hey, let's also kind of pump this tag match.
This is what I don't get, right? Because this is how I thought WrestleMania was going to play out. I thought Seth Rollins was going to face CM Punk, right? And this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought Cody was going to face Roman. Seth was going to face CM Punk. Maybe Seth goes over, maybe Punk goes over, but then Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank because the Judgment Day would drop the tag team titles to The Miz and R-Truth. That's what I thought was going to happen. Then you get basically Damian Priest out of a tag team, and then he's going to go out on his own. And then eventually the Judgment Day kicks out Damian Priest, and he is carrying that title for a while Seth takes a back seat. And that's how I thought WrestleMania was going to play out. Because to me, the perfect place to drop for Damian Priest to cash in the Money in the Bank would be WrestleMania after a well-fought match between Punk and Seth Rollins. But now that's out of the question. So who do you put in there? And
Well,
it's just because, and so it's like the whole thing is so jacked up, and then they need to divert attention away.
well, real quick, they've completely the only person that's even the Judgment Day is now a joke. And again, I only keep up with a couple like two of the major pay-per-views ago, like maybe it was SummerSlam. The Judgment Day was just coming out. Rhea Ripley was just like this big, huge Amazon woman with little tiny ass Rey Mysterio's son, Dom Mysterio, whatever his name is. And they were like kind of like I can see the heat building. Now they just wasted everything. The only one that's got any heat that's any good is Rhea still left in that thing. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody else is such a joke, it feels like. And that's just from somebody on the outside looking in. When I see anybody else in that Judgment Day shit, they all look like a joke except for Big Bad Wonder Woman Rhea Ripley.
and what was the best thing that the Judgment Day did in the last 2.5 months? Really, what is the best thing that's happened to the Judgment Day?
Rhea Ripley. What?
It was R-Truth. R-Truth was the best thing, and they should have stretched it out further because at least it got views and it got entertainment and it was enjoyable and it made the Judgment Day somewhat relevant. And even though it made them a joke, it didn't hurt them tremendously. It was ridiculous that they started and they ended it so quickly and they wasted it.
They and I don't want to dislike R-Truth, but they misuse him and make him like such a joke. He doesn't have to be a freaking joke, but at this point it's just like, okay, dude, like I know I understand black does not crack, but how old is that guy? Like 80 years old and he's still like rocking it? Like, come on, bro. Like,
What's crazy is that R-Truth is an NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Did you know that?
yeah, he's a legit, and that's the worst part. He's a legit good worker, and they just use him as a joke and make and like what is it I'm not even sure I can say it, but kind of like not Uncle Tom, that's not the word, but they make him a joke. Like hey, let's use this dark black man and like can kind of rap, and they just made him such a joke. When like you said, he is an NWA champion. He could be something great, but I don't know. I don't know
Look,
that
I'll
20
say this. I'll
yeah.
say this for R-Truth. R-Truth is making a lot of money.
Oh
And,
no.
and R-Truth deserves every penny he makes and then some. He's like the Miz, where WWE cannot afford to lose R-Truth. Whether you think they're using him correctly or not, R-Truth is a gear that works beautifully in that company like the Miz. And if they lose R-Truth, if they lose the Miz, and there's a few other gears, WWE's in real trouble. And it might sound weird when I say it, but R-Truth can be in any situation and do well. And that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying he should be the heavyweight champion or something like that. I just don't think that like his biggest thing was what he came in, him coming into the women's Royal Rumble. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they make it like that's what I'm talking about. Him being them making him out to be a joke. He's better than that. He's better than hey, I didn't even see him come out, but I heard him out. I was like, man, come on, dude. Or like trying to be in Judgment Day and they don't really want him. But like you said, he's the best thing they got going. So why not? They could almost do like a Rock R-Truth situation, like when Rock came into shit. I hate not thinking about shit. When Rock came in under Farouk. What was that?
The something domination.
Yeah, Nation Domination. You could almost do that where R-Truth comes into like the Judgment Day, like comes in as a joke, but actually like, no, I'm gonna show you how we actually work.
This is what they should have done, right? If they wanted to do something really cool, they should have had R-Truth come into the Judgment Day and then not go after the tag team titles or go after the tag team titles with the Miz eventually, because that's where they're going with it. And that makes a lot of sense. But go after Dominic Mysterio and go to NXT and go after Dominic Mysterio's North American title when he had it And that would have made a lot of sense because
Mhm.
that's equivalent to an intercontinental championship to some degree. And that would have been super, super smart. And I just think that though, but honestly, I don't even think that's the problem because this is a side story, right? This is kind of the appetizers, right? The real issue is that, I mean, we're going to get Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day. And you can't sit around and tell me you don't want Miz and R-Truth winning those belts. You can't tell me you don't want that.
If I'd be okay again, I'd be okay with it because again, Miz and R-Truth I believe are good workers, and Miz not as much as R-Truth, and I almost think that Miz and R-Truth together kind of R-Truth, it brings R-Truth a little bit more serious. Like, okay, yeah, we're fodder, we're laughter, but guess what? We'll beat your butt if we have to. You know what I'm saying? We'll beat your ass if we need to. I can't believe I said butt. I feel so lame just saying beat your butt. Like I never said anything more lame in my life, Mecca. But I do want to see that, and I just don't think that I just don't like seeing him I feel like he's made a joke, and I just don't like that. I just don't like that. I feel like he deserves more. I feel like he deserves more than being like he deserves better than what the Miz gets. I'm not. I remember Miz being on the Real World. Me and him are like the same damn age. Like,
Okay, so I'm a huge Miz fan. I love The Miz. I think The Miz is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
man.
And I think he is underrated, underappreciated. And I respect the hell out of The Miz because you could put The Miz at the start of the card. You could put The Miz in a crazy position, and The Miz will be just fine and he will get over. And he's done it over and over and over again. And they made The Miz into a joke, and the guy's had a fantastic career because you destroy him, and then John Cena destroys him every single year. Like, right after WrestleMania, John Cena destroyed him at like a pay-per-view. And I'm like, you're taking one of the best wrestlers and you're having the GOAT destroy one of the gears that's made WWE when they've been in bad situations work. Like, what the hell as a company are you doing?
Well, they do seem to like, and again, I feel like I definitely feel like for somebody on the outside looking in, but they seem to, and I hope that's changed now, and I think it has changed with Triple H, but they seem to take, okay, we got John Cena coming back. We got to show him a lot of love. Oh, here comes The Rock. We got to get The Rock. You know what I mean? Like, I think the best thing that they ever did was when Hogan and The Rock faced each other and accidentally became one of the greatest matches of all time. And that I think that The Rock and Cody or The Rock and Roman Reigns has that chance. But you've met this weird, like, The Rock and Roman Reigns should have happened in this long year that we've had in between Cody. Now we've come to a point where Cody almost has to win that belt. That's the story. He needs that belt that Roman Reigns has. And you can't put it off. What are we going to do? Put it off another year? Put it off a couple more pay-per-views? This is I think I think they have to have that match and they have to switch the belt. In my opinion. I don't know what you think. I think Cody has to take that belt.
I don't know what they do now. Because
Because
honestly, I don't really want Cody as a world heavyweight champion. I don't want The Rock either, and I don't know who beats Roman, right? And this is the problem that WWE has created is you created this Superman godlike figure, and I don't mean even in religion, and I'm not trying to make this a religious argument, but you
Zeus-like
created
figure. Zeus-like figure.
Zeus, fair. That's a good way to put it. That's a much better way. But like you created this like Olympian Zeus type figure that's untouchable, and it's kind of like whoever dethrones him, what legacy are you building for that person? I feel like Cody has his legacy, right? Cody did everything that CM Punk wanted to do, and then some. We wrestled on a show in front of 60 people, and then he headlined all four major pay-per-views across four different promotions in the same year. And he was on WrestleMania, Bound for Glory, he was on a New Japan show, and then he was on all out or all bound or whatever that AEW thing was. And it's
All
kind of
in. I think it was all in.
yeah,
Right?
it was all in. So it's just like
Dang.
at a certain point, Cody has fulfilled the legacy, and a belt doesn't mean shit. It just looks good on paper, but it doesn't mean
Well,
anything.
and no, it doesn't mean shit. You're right. No, we all know what wrestling is, especially nowadays. Like everybody is a smart fan. At one point in time, there was a smart fan, but now everybody's a freaking smart fan. But I think it does mean something because, like he talks about, my daddy held the belt and like it was his for a moment, but then they took it away. I think that completes that is they've made that a part of the story. I don't think that if they would have never said that, he wouldn't have needed a belt. Just like Dusty never really, I mean, Dusty had, but Dusty didn't really need a belt. Dusty's like a Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper never needed a belt. I don't even, and I mean, the Roman Reigns calling that the head of the table. That I mean, that's been ever since then. I was like, okay, so when are we getting The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Because that can't be a title match. You can't give The Rock your title. Like that'd just be the dumbest thing ever. So they've literally, at least in my eyes, they've painted themselves in a corner every which way. And I don't really care. I don't care what's going on in the Elimination Chamber. I don't care about. I mean, I would want to see Rollins and Rock and Reigns and all
So
that
let,
do
let
like.
me, let me tell you how I feel about Elimination Chamber.
Uh, uh,
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna watch it while doing something else. It's gonna be in the background. It
yeah,
kind of,
yeah. I already paid for Peacock, so it's gonna, especially we're on the road to WrestleMania, and you've asked all these questions, and I have to answer them. I'm gonna be one of those people that watch, even though I hate it, and the Elimination Chamber is gonna be stupid. Like you, I'm gonna be watching in the background, waiting to see what they pull out, what happens.
but like, I mean, I'm curious about Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. I think that's gonna be fun.
Again, I'm super impressed how much she's made me care about her. I mean, like real talk, I think it's something low key like sexual that I like about that woman. For some, like she is super, and I don't like tall women. I'm 6'3". It'd be a weird matchup if we were together, but I don't know. Like she just looks tough and like, yes, Miss Ripley, whatever you want, Mistress Ripley, and those boot,
So
dude, yeah. And I'm
let
not
me,
even that
let me
guy.
when did she win you over? Because I'll tell you when she won me over. So there was a moment, and maybe you're not as big of a mark, and maybe you are. I don't know. I don't want to judge. I don't want to pass judgment. But funny, we're talking about the Judgment Day. No pun intended. But what won me over with her is when she approached Paul Heyman and she said the Judgment Day is going to back up the bloodline. And this was like 18 months ago. And she's just standing toe to toe with Paul Heyman, and you see like just pure evil in the room. And I'm like, this is exactly what you want. Because she didn't have to intimidate Paul Heyman. We have this woman who looks tough and she's cunning and she's showing all these attributes. And I'm like, man, this girl has put in so much work in the ring and acting, and she understands how to convey emotion, and she's playing a game with one
She
of the best.
she knows
One
how
of
to sell it. That's what I tell my son. My son literally has never watched a moment of wrestling, but we wrestle all the time, and I tell him you got to sell it. Like he does this fake kick to my gut, and like, but that's neither here nor there. She won me over. What was it last year at the Royal Rumble? She went all the way through the
her
Women's
and Liv,
Royal
I
Rumble.
think, did it right.
What?
Her and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, and then at the WrestleMania, then she won the title, whatever it was, and now she's held it the entire time. I think it was the look in her eye after she won that title, and I was like, "Oh shit, that is a sexy beast of a woman." What's
So
up?
so 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 you have to, if that's your argument, you have to give credit to Liv Morgan, then,
Yeah.
and you have to give credit to Charlotte Flair
Yeah, they both
because
sold it for her and put her over for sure.
Charlotte and Liv definitely made Rhea, without a doubt. Not saying Rhea didn't deserve it. Rhea deserved it a long time ago. But Rhea Ripley, without a doubt, Charlotte Flair understood. But when I was with my friends and I just was ecstatic. And I'm like, finally, Rhea Ripley has put on an amazing match, and that match should have been the main event.
Okay,
Not
I'm gonna call
goddamn.
you out. I'm gonna call you out. We all know you don't have any friends, Mecca. No, I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, you're right. I
As
already
soon
got
as you said that, I was like, you ain't got no friends, Mecca. You ain't got no friends. Nah, but no, I agree. I'm excited to see. I mean, and even what was the Royal Rumble? They I guess right at the beginning, she was sitting up in the stands and like I don't even know who she was talking to, but they were just I was like, yeah, Rhea, I am sold on you, Rhea. Like I don't even if it wasn't for you, I mean, I hate that. What's the one with the long hair? Is that Nia?
Oh, Bianca.
Oh, I hate her so much. Her swinging the hair and shit. Oh my gosh.
You're
Oh
just
my god.
jealous of Montez Ford. It's all right. We're all jealous of Montez Ford.
I am
He has a
not.
ritual
Believe me,
cup.
I'm not saying, but that stupid hair whipping around. All I think is that what Will Smith's daughter will. I whip my head back and forth. I whip my head. I hate that. Oh my gosh, she gets on my nerves. Like I don't. Oh my bad, my bad. All right. So I guess
I like Bianca. Why don't you like Bianca? I mean,
I don't
I
know.
think
I could be a hater, like you said, but I don't know. Just something I've watched. Because again, I only watch like four. You say 5 shows. I only watch four shows a year, and I don't. And I really like this WrestleMania time because the documentaries go off the hook on Peacock. The wrestling documentaries, I love that the most. I love that the most. But I they've sucked me in. Like it is not. I don't know if they sucked me in because of how good it could be, or maybe just like it's like a fucking train wreck or car wreck. You can't take your eyes away. Like what's gonna like I feel like they are so painted in the corner. Like what are we're gonna see Roman Reigns and The Rock
I
versus
I
Seth and Cody?
I don't know, man. Like I take a different opinion. I love Royal Rumble to WrestleMania because it's just WWE owns it, and it's crazy because we've been having shitty wrestling for almost 2 fucking years, and I'm a little privileged because I get to interview wrestlers, and for the last 2 years we've had shit wrestling, and it sounds crazy, but for the first time in 2 years, WWE is fucking good every week for the most part. If they do 10 weeks, they have one off week. And meanwhile, we got football going on in the last, probably like 4 months, and WWE has been on fucking fire. And I
Uh,
hate to say this, but like they've been on fire, and I'm like, this company's figured out, and maybe they just figured out how to strike gold. And I think it's cyclical, and I think it's a cycle, and I think
yeah,
they just figured out, hey, these are good fucking stories. And right now, I mean, it's WrestleMania 40. It's in Philadelphia, and it's going to
mhm.
be a great 2 night show, and it's going to
I,
be fantastic.
maybe I'm giving too much credit, but do you think a lot of it has to do with like Triple H and Paul Levesque coming? Because he did that. I mean, he is a big part of what made NXT good. And I don't even watch NXT, but I followed it kind of in the background through listening to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So I think it's part of that. I also think that what's happened is that they have an immense amount of talent now. So you have really, really, really good people that are resonating. People connect with Sami Zayn. People connect with Kevin Owens. People connect with LA Knight. People are
oh, I
connecting with
hate that guy. I want after my bad. Let's talk about him after this. Keep going. Sorry.
so people are connecting with Becky Lynch. People are connecting with Bailey. People are connecting with all these with Cora Jade, and people are connecting. I feel with wrestlers, and some they're connecting with, some they're not. But for whatever reason, I even think people are connecting with Roman Reigns to some degree. I mean, who doesn't want to be the head of the table and be like, I'm a fucking dynasty? Fuck off, is Roman Reigns. So my point is that, and I think sometimes people can relate to that. I don't know. You've been doing a lot of stuff and you get a lot of views. I mean, as a podcast, and it's going to sound really egotistical, and feel free to call me out, but I've been doing this shit for 10 years, and I've interviewed some of the top people in the voice acting world and some other areas. And my point is that I think that
Oh,
So it gets to a point where I walk into a room and I ask somebody something, I'm like, I belong at a seat at the table. And I think people can relate to that in a lot of ways. So I think that's part of it. But I also think it's Triple H. I think that they've tapped into that. And I think there's a weird position because they got a huge amount of talent. They have people who are being connected to, and then they're just in the right place at the right time. And that's what I think.
and
And
I think we're seeing a lot of getting. I think it was time for Vince to leave. I think he was old news, old school. Like there's just, I mean, I think we got a lot more wrestling minds and more old school wrestling voices in the room than we did before. I don't know. Maybe that's just, again, I'm not as into it as you are. I feel myself getting sucked in, but then I can easily feel myself getting sucked out. Like, go ahead.
no. I was going to ask you because I'm actually curious because I like diversity, and I don't know if you like diversity, but I like diversity of thought. I've obviously been challenged on things outside of wrestling, and I like when somebody comes across me and I don't have an answer for them. So certain people, and I have a friend who's challenged me on. I used to be a big dividend guy in stocks, and I promise I'm going to come back in a second, everybody. But he challenged me on certain things like Amazon and a few others that don't do that, and he shifted my opinion slightly about by 5%, and it's had a good effect. And so I think it's very interesting where you brought up a good point where it was time for Vince to leave, not give up his equity, but say, I'm going to take a step back and hand it over to my children, or hand it over to my son-in-law, or hand it over to good people, and I will be in a consulting role, and I will maybe Vince stayed too long. You know what is, and maybe that's part of the problem is that there gets a point where it's time to leave a sector, not necessarily become poor or give up your stock or your equity, but say, I am leaving, but I will give my input in 2 months. I kind of want to know everybody's story and I'll give my input on it. And then they don't have to do anything. And maybe that's why this is good now because we finally have new fresh ideas in.
Right. No, I'm, and I mean, really and truly, like, Vince McMahon would never, I mean, what would it take for him to, even all this shit that's going on, Vince McMahon's never going to be poor. Like, he should have left and given it to, I mean, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H have been doing, I mean, I think that maybe not. I think Stephanie's good at, I think she's good at coordinating talent and getting shit out the door. Maybe she's not the best writer, she's not the best wrestling mind, but you want to get some shit done, you get a woman to get that shit pushed out and get it. I have all the faith in the world in a woman getting stuff done all day long, all day long. But then you got
Stephanie McMahon is a very, very, very smart businesswoman. So Tim Ferriss has her in one of his books, and I forget. I think it's I have the book somewhere around here. I think it's either Tools of Titans or I forget the other one, but it's either here nor there. And Tim Ferriss wrote a book where he asked all these people 8 or 9 questions, and it's a brilliant book. It's the laziest book ever. It's amazing. You send people like 10 questions, they can answer whatever they want, and then you publish it. Great book, very inspirational. Tools of Titan was Triple H was in there, and Stephanie McMahon was in maybe Minds and Mentors, I think it is, or something of that nature. I recommend everybody read it. Both those books are fantastic. They've shaped my opinion. They've definitely helped me. You're going to read them again and again and again and again. When I build the studio, those 2 books are going to be on. And I would love to interview Tim Ferriss. I would love to. It would be a pleasure, and he's on my top 10 retirement interviews. But so is John Cena on that list. Stephanie did not make the cut. I'm going to make that crystal clear. Because nobody's watching us, Steph. Let me tap that, and I can't finish the statement there. But yeah, I don't. Did you know that segment with John Cena and Stephanie McMahon?
yeah, that's all that. I cut all that. Yeah, but I mean, John Cena has to, I mean, Stephanie McMahon's the one that saw John Cena's stupid ass rapping and shit and said, "Hey, let's." I mean, she But I do think, I mean, and say what you will about Bruce Pritchard, I think he has a good wrestling mind. I don't know how much Paul Heyman's involved besides, the what is Roman Reigns call him, the advocate? Oh my God, I hate that. Is just
No, he's not the advocate. No. That's Brock Lesnar's thing. He
oh
is the wise man.
oh yeah, the wise man Paul Heyman. And I mean, I think there's some good wrestling minds in WWE. I do think there's some oversaturation of the product. I think that there's nothing behind a pay-per-view anymore. There's nothing behind nothing gets you involved in it anymore. Like that's I like the four big shows.
I'm going to challenge you. So I don't give a fuck about Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I really don't give a damn about it. The only thing that's interests me about Elimination Chamber is it's in Australia. That's it. That's legitly the only thing that's interesting about Elimination Chamber. Who cares about the elimination match anymore? That shit bores the fuck out of me.
But there's gotta be something coming out with. There has to be another match coming. I mean, what are they doing with Roman Reigns, Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins? There's just
again, I don't give a fuck because I'm already bored with Elimination Chamber. It's a week away.
I'm bored with it too, and I'm only gonna watch it because I care. Like, am I gonna? It's almost like an after credit scene in a Marvel movie. Like, I'm gonna stick around for this after. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta find out what's going on with Cody and The Rock and everything, and Roman. I get exactly what you're saying. I don't care if it wasn't in between WrestleMania and they have these stupid storylines that I'm sucked in. I admit that I am sucked in. I'm gonna watch it like you in the background.
Why? It's fantastic. I mean, I'm watching Monday Night Raw now. It's amazing. They caught us, and I'm not complaining because you know what is? I'll pour myself a beer and I'll watch it.
Well, you got plenty of time because everybody that walks down that fucking ramp has to. When did this, like, can we not get a freaking Harley and just drive them down the stupid thing? Like, let's get back to that one WrestleMania where everyone got carted down there in a cart, because I am tired of these and that's the worst part about Roman Reigns is they take what you can't hold your own belt, and then Paul Heyman has to hand it to you very slowly, and you have to like look at it like it's giving you some type of power. Who the hell are you, He-Man? Come, like, dude, that gets on my nerves the most. That gets on
okay. So there's a time and place for theatrical entrances. WrestleMania is one of those places where you need to have, like, last year Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul was great. And the fact that Seth Rollins had a whole orchestra and he comes out and he's directing his orchestra, singing.
Well, wasn't that when he was doing that? That was the beginning of it, right?
Yes, that was great.
And now it's so overused. I want to slap everybody in that audience when they just keep doing it. And he's just like, who are you? Dude, what are you, like, calling it out? You fucking Hulk Hogan in it? Like, I don't know, man. I get what you're saying.
My point, though, is that Logan Paul match with Seth Rollins, and I bring this up because Logan Paul coming in on a zip line was great too. That's when you want to use theatrical, positions. Royal Rumble is not a theatrical pay-per-view. It should never be. And the fact that and WWE doesn't do theatrics, but WrestleMania is a theatrical pay-per-view. You have to have, and I don't give if the entrance is half the show at WrestleMania, I'll suck it up because it makes sense. It's the grandest stage of them all. But then when they're doing that shit and it takes them legitimately 7 minutes to get down to the fucking entrance.
I've counted that. Yes, you're right. I've counted the time. Like, oh my God, we've been watching, and they go on break and come back, and then there's still 4 minutes left of this guy's entrance. And all we're doing is we're cutting a promo on Raw. Damn it! Like, I get. That's what I'm talking about. I get when you first come in and you're at WrestleMania or you're at some big pay-per-view. Yeah, you do your theatrics. You do all that shit. But damn it, man. I'm just trying to get the storyline and get to the point, dude.
Like when Daniel Bryan's faced Triple H to get into that triple threat match at WrestleMania 30, That was great. He comes out with this king, and Charlotte Flair was there. I think Alexa Bliss was one of the female knights. That was great. And that should have taken, or when Triple H came out in the Terminator stuff, because they were in Cali, that was great too. And that took it versus Sting. That was fantastic. Because that should have taken a good 8 minutes, that entrance, because you're on the stage and we all want that. This is what we're paying for.
That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted.
But like it's so overused, and I can't take it anymore. It's like I'm like, look,
we all know that when Cody was coming out to talk to Seth about something, that was a fucking YouTube clip. You know it, I know it, Cody knew it, Seth knew it, people in the back knew it. So why not just come out there and give us the clip? Like, why do we have to do, like, you gotta take up all your TV time doing the stupid come on, man. Like, and don't even, like, since we're talking about shit that grinds my gears, LA Knight pisses me off so much. Just his app, like,
yeah.
Oh my god, it, like, he just, what was his name before this? Eli something.
Eli Drake.
Yes. Oh my god. And then that makes me hate it even more. You had to change it from Eli Drake to LA Knight just so you could copyright that shit, dude. Like, Eli, it's the same stupid name, except LA Knight sounds even more dumb. And this guy's making me mad because he's getting himself over. But he's like, when him and AJ Styles fight, it's like Joe Biden and Donald Trump fighting each other. They're old. I mean, and this is coming from another old guy. Believe me, I'm not no pretty dude. LA Knight's got me beat, but come on, bro. Dude.
So the reason why I'm laughing is that I like LA Knight and I can't dispute it. That's the problem.
And that's the thing. When he came into the Royal Rumble, I like the little things that I've seen, but I don't want, like, I don't know, it's just, it's almost like everyone's trying to rehash the Rock shit and rehash Stone Cold shit, like that what thing is just like the thing, and the Rock, like, do you smell it? You know, that's how Seth Rollins looks, that's how Roman Reigns looks. Come on, guys, and I know that was just the Rock kind of taken from Hulk Hogan or from whoever, but it's like, guys, can we not?
Let me ask you now, because now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
So I think the last original idea was Becky Lynch when she said, "I'm the man," and I thought that was great.
I hate that. I like that though. I hate that her coming out there and that. Although it might be her accent, I've always been partial to an Irish chick. Like, always. Oh, one of my biggest accomplishments when I was like 17 is this cute Irish chick like me. I was like, yes. Like, I remember that feeling. So that way, if a woman's got an Irish Scottish like accent, I'm down, bro. I'm down. So and then she tells you I'm the man again. The same thing as with that Rhea Ripley thing. Like, all right, you're the man, bro. Let's do what you want. I love
Becky so much, and I'm gonna go further into this. I'm gonna say something that I went in a snowstorm when our Pop Funko of 2 times back released at Target. Risked my life so I could get that Pop Funko. Nobody's in the store. We're like, dude, you could have just called and we would have just put one aside for you. And I'm like, you don't understand. And that was the conversation. And because she's fantastic. But like, that's the last original idea I've seen in wrestling in a very long time. Because she took that, she said, yeah, I'm the man. And I'm the top superstar here. And she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. She was bigger than her husband at the time, and she still technically is to some degree.
What's up with her right now? Because I haven't seen it. Like, again, I only watched.
I don't know what's up with her. Honestly, I don't really know what they're doing. She's supposedly in the hunt for the face Rhea, but that seems dumb.
Was she pregnant?
She might be pregnant with their second kid, but good for her. You know.
No, I'm not saying anything. I was like, because again, I only watched it. I was like, damn, where's she been at? Like, did she get more babies? I do like that her nickname's the Man, and Roman Reigns, and people mess with him for wearing his wife's clothes. That's pretty funny. That's pretty.
That is.
If I was Seth Rollins, like, well, she is the man, guys. So I don't know what you like. We share shit. Why not? Like, I'm David. Like, I can be androgynous. I'm David Bowie. What's that? What was that guy? I'm androgynous, bro. I'm gold dust.
Ziggy Stardust, Jeffree Star.
I'm androgyny. Like
this is the only response Seth Rollins needs to say is say, you guys can make fun of me of what I wear, but remember, she comes home with me.
I was saying, my wife will come and whoop your ass. You better shut up, dog. Like,
see, I mean,
let me get my wife.
It goes saying it's kind of like Dennis Rodman when he married Carmen Electra. Yes, I'm wearing a dress, but you guys will remember that I'm fucking her still. So who won the war? You might win the battle, but I'll win the war.
Real talk, I'd wear a dress for some Carmen Electra. Like, I'd be okay with that. Let's do it, bro.
I'd wear a dress for Carmen Electra too. It'd be great. I mean, I look good in white.
Let's not get into the stuff I would do to be with Carmen. Let's not, because I would go pretty damn far for like.
I mean, let me put it this way, right? There's a lot of people that I go pretty far for. I mean, I'll tell you where I stop. I stop at murder. Okay, like, I don't know where you stop. But
I wasn't taking. I was thinking like sexual stuff that I wouldn't want to do. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Like, let's go. Like, I make this joke, and this is let me, because now it's stuck in my head and I can't get it. Like, real talk, you know how people say like, I wouldn't be with a dude for $1 million. Like, in this day and age, like, if you come at me with like 50 grand, I might be, you know what I mean? Like, if you came in with 50 grand cash, be like, well, I don't have 50 grand cash, so well, how long is it gonna take you, bro? What's happening here? 50 grand cash? Okay. My bad. Let's not get canceled. My bad.
Oh, no. I'm not canceled. You know how many people try to attack me and cancel me a week? It's up to like 7 now. I mean, it just happened last Sunday.
I'm talking about myself. I don't want to get myself like, dude. I always get myself in trouble for saying stuff.
See, what's crazy about me is that every time somebody attacks me and they try to end me, they fail because they forget the golden rule: is if you're going to come after somebody, you have to go in for the kill. If you don't kill them, that's the problem. I don't go and blatantly destroy people, and I purposely don't do it unless I need to. And when I do, I go in for the kill. There's no question about it. And I've done it once, and the person is not in the space of pop culture anymore because of that. And my point is that it's a rare occurrence that I go in for a kill. And I think that's a problem. And going back to HBK with your 50 grand thing, you know, talking about the Spirit Squad, he said, hey, it's kind of hip to be, you know, gay right now. And that's what HBK said. And Shawn Michaels is great. It's great.
I think there's a song about it. No, that's hip to be square. I totally was thinking hip to be queer. Never mind. You know,
speaking about the Spirit Squad, Ken Doane is jacked. He's Kenny from the Spirit Squad. The guy is jacked.
Yeah. I mean,
the guy's like almost as jacked as Cena is, and it's insane.
They all look better than I do, dude. So shit, like, I can't complain. Like,
dude, no. We all have unique skills. I need to build up your confidence now. Just because no. Let me get to the joke.
All right, get to the joke. Let's hear your joke. No, I'm fucking with you, Mecca.
Well, no. I'm gonna ask you: would you rather have muscles or be funny? Because I'd rather be funny than
dude, I tell my kids all the time, like, what are y'all gonna do being so fucking pretty? Like, I was so lucky. Like, the people made fun of me. I was so to face adversity. I and see that it happens for different people. Like, my mom's one of those people that takes all the adversity and all the crap that the world spews at. She takes it in. It crumbles her inside. I'm the type that I take all that adversity and all that BS. I'm like, no, I'm gonna give you so much worse. Let's do this, bro. Like, I enjoy going in this. I enjoy being heckled. I enjoy going to spots where I kind of get messed with or I say the wrong thing. I enjoy that stuff. I enjoy that's the fact of life. That's what makes it good.
I enjoy debate. I enjoy negotiation. I enjoy exchange of ideas. I don't enjoy being heckled for no good reason. I don't enjoy being attacked for no good reason. If I'm not attacking you for no good reason, I don't expect to be attacked. And when I am, it's off-putting because it's disturbing to me. If I haven't had an interaction with somebody, and then you blatantly come out of the blue, I'm like, why are you attacking me? But if we're exchanging ideas at a bar and we're having a beer, we're at least talking. And you know what it could be a heated discussion, but that's okay. So I agree where I like subjecting myself to that, but I don't like involuntarily subjecting myself to it. But it is what it is. But
Let's get back to the wrestling. We're getting super deep into like we've gone way off the deep end on this shit. Like we were talking about LA Knight and now we just like
so let's talk about LA Knight.
Lame.
So, let's talk about him because he's a good wrestler, right?
He's been working hard, man. Like you see, like I even because I had never heard of him before, and I saw him like again. I think the first time I saw him was maybe Survivor Series this year, and like maybe he came out for something or in some way I saw him come out. I was like, who the hell? LA Knight? What is that stupid? Like it made me think of those tennis shoes, British Knights from back in the day. Like I was like LA Knight, this is dumb. Like okay, and then he popped up in Royal Rumble, and I was like, all right, and then like they brought him up for this fatal 4-way thing. Like he's getting really important. It seemed like so. I was like, okay, let me look this guy up, and I was just like, okay, and I see he's a hard worker. He's putting his time. He's coming back and forth. Like my shit talking isn't about his skill at all. It's just, oh my God, you suck, bro.
Do you feel that he has just taken basically Stone Cold Steve Austin? He's embodied John Cena. He's taken The Rock. He's taken things from people who have come before him, and he doesn't have an original idea. Because I was speaking to somebody who's a friend of mine who's a comic writer, and he's like, he doesn't have an original idea, and he's almost like a combination of the best. And that's cool and it works, but it's also like we're not even reinventing the wheel. We're just putting a new coat of paint on it.
Well, that's what's it called? Leave and go learn a new hold or whatever it is. You know, have you ever heard that? Like, gotta leave town and learn a new hold and come back. That's kind of, I don't know, and that's the worst part. Like like I said, him and AJ Styles. Like, who's all in this fatal 4-way? Is there like Randy Orton, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and I mean, these are the oldest of the old people. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I like them all, but come on, man. Like, this is the fatal 4-way because somebody's gonna have a heart attack and pass away, unfortunately. That's why it's fatal. That's why it's elimination chamber. Somebody's not gonna be able to get out of that bitch.
So let me ask you this, because obviously I'm a little bit, hopefully, maybe I'm a little bit more informed, but I would have liked to see Braun Breaker in that Fatal 4, right? Braun Breaker.
What? Braun Breaker toy right here. The only good toy they had at the Walmart when I went. You wouldn't believe the crap they had at that Walmart when I went there, dude. My bad. Go ahead. No, I like Braun Breaker. And again, I hate that they. Have you ever seen on the Peacock table for 3? It's Braun Breaker and his dad and uncle. You know, the Steiner brothers.
I haven't seen that, but I know what you're referring to, but I haven't seen that episode.
Well, you know what? I think it was his uncle, and I think his uncle's I don't know. One of them was giving him like, "Why'd you have to change your name from a Steiner? Why couldn't Braun Breaker? Who the hell is that? We're Steiners." And I was just like, "Yeah, I mean, I understand the copyright thing, but why can't like the dude would already be over if he's rocking this singlet that reminds you, and then he takes it off like that was his dad, right? The one that his dad, dude." They waste a lot of the goodwill, just like changing Kerry Von Erich's name from Kerry Von Erich to the Texas Tornado. We don't care. He's a Von Erich. That's the only reason they care about him. The few people that knew who he was, I don't know. It just it seems like they waste a lot of good shit trying to own something.
No, I mean, look, I would like to see him, and I think it'd be interesting if he was in a fatal four-way. I don't think he's ready
No, he's
to,
not ready.
but I think if they put him instead of AJ Styles or Randy Orton or LA Knight, and you put Braun Breaker into that fatal four-way that happened like 2 months ago, I think that would have been cool because we could have seen what he could do because he was in the Royal Rumble. My understanding is he took Brock Lesnar's spot.
Then he reminded me a lot of my understanding was he took Lesnar's spot and he came in and kind of
He was ready to go. He was ready to go.
It didn't seem like they changed the script too much either. Like, okay, let's just let's just take, the Brock, almost unbeatable mammoth dude. Let's just give it to Braun Breaker. And that I liked it. I enjoyed, like when he ripped off the top of that singlet, I was like, what? What was Big Papa Pump? As well.
This goes back to my point is that they have talent that is ready to go, which means WWE has done something way smarter than a lot of companies did, where they built the next gen in NXT, and the NXT experiment is working. It's the one thing AEW doesn't have. AEW, on the other hand, has the indies. But guess what? I can tell you that WWE is pulling out of a company called Wrestling Open. I mean, they give Wrestling Open people and a bunch of people in the Northeast, especially out of New England, a lot of cred and a lot of WWE tryouts. So, but
do you think AEW's got? I mean, I know AEW's a company, and how much long do you think it's? I mean, it's really down right now, dude. It's. I mean, it's at its worse from what I understand. I mean, I don't watch their weekly show. The stuff I know, I know them from Jim Cornette. That's all I know of them.
I think what it is that I think they're learning a very valuable lesson that it takes a long time to build and maintain and gain ground. And the cons have money. They pumped a lot of money in, but I don't think that they have a real answer. If I was AEW, what I would do is that I would do a 3-tier system where you got to buy talent. They've already done that, but you got to develop talent. You really, really got to develop talent, and you got to protect talent. And also, I would allow talent to be very indie centric. I would take it as, hey, we're a bad boy club where this wrestler could be the world heavyweight champion like Chris Jericho, but they could also show up to Wrestling Open. In fact, I would make an argument saying, what are the top 5 independent wrestling shows? Let's get Chris Jericho on one of those.
Right.
Because it would be a reverse idea of WWE. And now you have one of the top wrestlers in the world being on a small show that's in front of 400 people streaming on a platform. And you say, look, we don't want it announced. We want the Twitter views.
Right.
So I would take AEW in a very different direction if I was in charge of it creatively. And it's not a wrestling creative. It's the idea that what is going to get a lot of media attention for free. Because
I get what you're saying, man, but I don't think that, I mean, just look at everything they've wasted. Like they've had, I mean, they just they should have, I mean, Cody Rhodes began that company and then he just he was unhappy and just left. What does that say about your company, man? Like, how does that, what is that? That right there was
fired. I mean, what the hell?
What's up?
CM Punk got fired.
Again, another stupid ass move, but I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like now they're just in their death rattle. Like, they're gonna.
This is my question. Maybe you can enlighten me, and then from a logical standpoint, how did you allow a fight like that to occur and bad beef in your company? What rational and protections did you avoid on this Because if I run a company, I'm going to make sure that there's HR and that there's guardrails so this shit doesn't happen. I mean, to me, if you're a wrestler and this happened between Jack Perry, which is Jungle Boy, and CM Punk, why the hell would I want to work for an unsafe company? I mean, that it seems like it's a dangerous.
Why wouldn't you back CM Punk? I mean,
That too.
Jungle Boy. I mean, who the hell cares about the dude's name is Jungle Boy? That's never gonna get over. Jungle Boy's gonna be your top talent. Jungle Boy's gonna win your world championship, and this I don't even give two craps. I'm just saying, from like you said, a logical point of view. When I say the words, "Oh, my top talent is Jungle Boy," no, he's not. He's not. I'm sorry.
I take it even. I mean, I agree. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, but like my whole position is that like, how the fuck did you allow this to happen in the first place?
Well, I mean, look at who they look. I mean, I don't even know I think I've seen the Young Bucks wrestle maybe once. I was not impressed. Same thing, like and I mean, like what? Chris Jericho's the highest paid wrestler right now. Like, and he's not like, and I like Chris Jericho. Like, don't get me wrong, but imagine if Chris Jericho went back to WWE. Imagine the pop he would get if he went back to WWE.
Agreed. I mean, when he came back and he won the Intercontinental Championship and he
Yeah.
had those crazy matches, they were fantastic matches. His second return was awesome. Technically his third return was awesome.
Right.
I mean, Chris Jericho. I mean, I read Chris Jericho's third autobiography. What a great book that thing was. What a fantastic book that was. And I think that's what people forget. And I got a feeling when Chris Jericho writes his fourth one, it's going to be a great, great, great book. And Chris Jericho is great, but it's like AEW doesn't know what the fuck to do with Chris Jericho anymore either.
And that AEW doesn't know what to do with anything anymore. I mean, I feel like every time that they get a pop about some type of talent, then a week later they're no longer there, or within a month you no longer hear about them. I feel like I hear about the same. I mean, I feel like there's only 5 wrestlers in AEW anyways. I mean, and Chris Jericho is one of them that I barely hear about. Like, you never hear about, oh my God, like I never hear on Cornell, like, oh my God, that Chris Jericho match was the best. Chris Jericho really pulled one of his ass and saved that pay-per-view or saved that. No, I don't really hear that all that much. Because if I did, I would go check it out. I would go watch. I'm like, damn, look what Chris Jericho did.
The only reason why I know anything about AEW, and I'll be the first person to say this, one of my earliest interviews was a guy named Eddie Kingston. And boy, was I not ready for that interview. And boy, was I a shitty interview. That was either episode number 11 or number 13. And oh my God, what a shitty, horrible interview. Everybody could hear it. I'm the first person to say it. And Eddie Kingston basically nursed me through that interview. He nursed me through that interview because Eddie is a Long Island stand-up individual. He had no right or privilege or obligation to nurse me through an interview, but within probably about 10 minutes, he probably realized that, oh shit, this kid's a brand new interviewer, and he's nice and he has some fucking talent here. I can't let him die. I mean, nursed me through an interview and made sure that it was shitty. Right. Okay? It was shitty. It wasn't a disaster. It was a shitty interview. And that's the only reason why I know anything about AEW is because Eddie Kingston is on AEW and Eddie Kingston does a good job, but it was just like, okay. And I've been in that position, and it took me a very long time to understand what Eddie did in that interview for me. And unless you've been there, everybody, and I'm going to say this, and this is deep, unless you've been there, it is a very, very weird place to be in. But that's why I know AEW, because Eddie's there, Chris Jericho's there, Orange Cassidy's there from the Indies, and I'm just like, okay, that's. But beyond that, I can give two fucks about AEW.
So that's 3 wrestlers, man. That's not a roster, unfortunately. Like,
I mean, Paige is there, Tony Storm is there.
No, I know these other people are there, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care about Orange Cassidy. If you want me to be honest,
what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? How can you care about Orange Cassidy?
I don't know. I probably need to watch more of. I can't even tell you if I've. I feel like I've seen him wrestle, but I probably should relook him up. Like, I mean, I'm talking shit, but
no. Let me explain. Orange Cassidy is used in the most fucked up wrong way at that company. Orange Cassidy should not be on AEW. Orange Cassidy should be in every fucking movie, right? Orange Cassidy is like Mr. Bean, right? This is why Orange Cassidy is like Alexa Bliss. You need Orange Cassidy at the red carpet. So at the Grammys, Orange Cassidy should be there doing Orange Cassidy. That would be more efficient and more effective and more important than Orange Cassidy in a ring.
So man, we've just like, dude. So now we're talking like, man, I mean, there's just nothing. AEW is just not. I mean, even the one person that I was like, I probably should show you. Like, no, they're better. Like, they're better. Like, you literally said, like, no, in the ring they suck. Don't look them up in the ring.
That. Exactly. The value of Orange Cassidy
in so many words.
What'd you say?
I said in so many words. You said like her ring presence isn't.
Her ring presence. I mean, I'm talking about Orange Cassidy. I'm not talking about Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is a fantastic wrestler.
I know. I'm saying like you. Maybe I misunderstood, but it just seemed like you were like, Orange Cassidy's good, just outside the ring.
Alexa Bliss. Bliss. I'll clarify my point. Orange Cassidy's real value is in the fact that he should be at the Grammys, the CMAs, and like the Golden Globes, because that press component of when they turned him on camera and he's in his denim jacket shades and his fucking jean sweatpants is worth so much more, because it will create viewers and interest to turning it on to Wednesday Night Dynamite. That's what Orange Cassidy's value is. Alexa Bliss, it has that same effect, but the difference is that Alexa Bliss is a fantastic wrestler and she could back up her trade. So right. Alexa Bliss is a unique position where Alexa Bliss, and I'll make this argument, where Alexa Bliss can hold her own in a ring and actually is an amazing wrestler. Orange Cassidy is a theatrical production. They both have massive value, in which that Orange Cassidy should be paid millions of dollars, because you cannot replicate what Orange Cassidy has done. Orange Cassidy has broken the mold. Alexa Bliss has worked her ass off. Her nice bubble ass, I might add, but she's worked it off.
I like I don't know. AEW just they're frustrating as hell. They're frustrating as hell. Like, it's.
I agree.
Again, all I never took the only, and literally I've maybe only seen. I know I watched All In. I know I've seen a couple other matches through clips, but I never sat down and watched a full pay-per-view like I'm gonna sit down and watch WrestleMania, or like I watched.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So I'm a little biased. My position in AEW is that it's too fucking expensive for a pay-per-view. $50 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And it's definitely a turn off for me. And maybe I'm in a unique breed, and feel free to call me out on that. But I think $50 is a lot. I think $20 is a fairer price. Peacock, when WWE had their network, it was $10 for the network. And I thought that was fantastic, because I have this big library, and they moved to Peacock. And what is Peacock? $5.39 with commercials. There's a big difference between $5.39, and I get a huge amount of stuff, and I'm a huge Law and Order fan, so I don't just get WWE. I get a bunch of other stuff on Peacock too.
Right.
So and same thing with Netflix. $15 for Netflix if it has Monday Night Raw on it, but you get a bunch of other stuff in there too. It
Mhm.
becomes massively cheaper. So that's a huge, I guess, plus for me. Maybe turn on is not the right word here, but I feel like I'm getting value.
A huge turn on for me. No,
But so I don't know if that's what you feel, but for me, that's what I feel about AEW, and it definitely is a
well,
deterrent.
yeah, I mean, and back in the day before the network moved to Peacock, I would get the network, like I'd pay for it, like definitely around WrestleMania time because the documentaries are the best. I love the network's documentaries. They are literally my
But
favorite.
like
So back,
$10 is not a lot, right? I mean,
yeah,
$10, you feel that it's worth $10, but you're
yeah. So
getting
I would pay for it for a couple months and then be like, okay, let me cancel it because I'm not watching too much, so I'm not gonna. And then it moved to Peacock, and like you said, I watch so many other things on Peacock, so now it doesn't even like matter. WWE can just be in the background, and when I see something come up that I like or something that I'm interested in, then I'll click it on. AEW doesn't have that, and they're coming up from way behind. I really, I don't know. I don't know what they should do. Like
I'm gonna
maybe,
ask you a question
yeah,
because this is one of the things that's been discussed is that I think AEW should sign a deal with HBO Max and put their pay-per-views on HBO Max because I think I'm
I
not
thought that's
saying
who they were talking to, Discovery or something like that, or they were talking to somebody about them. But I thought
E-
I heard somebody say that. But
yeah, that's been the rumor, but I don't even think WPD, Warner Brothers Discovery, which is saying I don't know because it would be a
uh,
massive pay cut for AEW, but it would be viewership.
uh,
And I think WWE has figured out that sponsorship is worth more and commercials and having, DraftKings as a sponsor or Doritos or
right.
Cheetos or whatever it is worth way more than, you know, the charging $50 for a pay-per-view. I mean, WrestleMania used to be $50. Now what is it? $5.39.
Mhm.
Big difference, right?
Where would I don't even, dude? I don't even have the capability of watching a pay per view. Like, when you say pay per view, is it like? Are you talking like back in the day? You press your remote and you click the pay per view button, and that's how you do it. Is there a streaming? Do they? How do they do their shit? I don't even know how.
I was never in a position where I got to buy a $40 pay-per-view. I've never been in that era. It used to be that my father was explaining it to me that his brother used to um buy boxing stuff. So what would happen is that all of his friends would come over and they'd buy a boxing paper. He would cover the boxing, and then everybody else would bring some beer. Everybody would chip in, somebody
Yeah,
would bring pizza. So everybody would cover it. So you got 10 guys. One guy would cover the pay-per-view. Somebody would bring in, a 12 pack. Another guy would bring another 12 pack. Somebody would order cover the pizza. Somebody would bring chips. Somebody would bring some other stuff, and then they'd watch the fights, right?
yeah.
UFC is like that. But I've never ordered a pay-per-view. It's a weird thing, right? So, but I know that it used to be like 50, $60 for Mania, and it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Um,
And I don't know how it is or how many people you know, but dude, wrestling is like my guilty pleasure. Like, I don't know too many people that are talking. It's not like, hey, let's get together and check out this pay per view and talk about it. Like, literally, I reached out to you to talk about this because I have nobody to talk about this shit with at all. Like, my girl
so
doesn't want to hear about it.
out. All I
What?
want to do is I want to talk about investing in wrestling. Like most people don't understand that. Like I really enjoy talking about wrestling. I enjoy talking about comics. I enjoy talking about money. And I don't get to talk to many people about this stuff because I
Right.
think so many people are just so freaking in this element of prestige. And it's like, guys, I
Mhm.
want to enjoy my life. Like wrestling is fun for me. I used to tweet out and engage with all these wrestlers. I mean, I don't know if you know that I used to live in DC 4 or 5 years ago, and every Friday night, Impact was on Twitch. So I would come home, I would get food on my way back. I'd stop at the liquor store after I got off the metro. I would then go get my dinner, and then I would play a bunch of Overwatch. And then I'd play Overwatch. I'd eat my dinner, start pouring my alcohol, play a bunch of Overwatch. And come 10, I'm like, guys, I got to peace out to my Overwatch family. And then I'd watch wrestling. I'm half drunk, and I'm tweeting at all these wrestlers. People like Jordan Grace, people like Killer Cross, who's carrying Cross, people like Bobby Lashley, people like the Rascals. And all these people were interacting with me when I'm half drunk watching wrestling, and I'm watching wrestling for free. And it was amazing. And I don't think people understand that, like, I love talking wrestling because to me, it's so just who's your favorite wrestler? I'm rooting for Roman. I'm rooting for Cena. I'm rooting for LA Knight. I'm a Randy Orton fan. But it's a safe zone. I don't know how to explain it. I feel comfortable in the space.
See, and you're more of I call it being a mark. You're more of a mark than me. Like you're and that, but I like that stuff. I mean, I don't want to talk wrestling like all the time. It's not like, I want to go Jim Cornette with Mecca at all times and just complain about everything and these dumbasses. But like when some shit like this happens, I'm just sitting there watching like, damn, who can I?
So let me tell you a story that changed me and my friend's perspective. I went to a wrestling show. So I went to college in Purchase, New York, at Manhattanville, and there's a wrestling show at White Plains City, the White Plains, Westchester County Center, and I bought the tickets. It was great. So me and my friend, who's named Andrew, we decided it was Kane versus John Cena in a tables match, right? So you got to put your opponent through a table. We're in a section where there's a bunch of kids with their parents. So you're still blurry, by the way.
Oh yeah, I got to stay in the middle of the thing. My bad.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm trying not to keep my girls' bras in the background because I'm in my closet hiding.
I am an absolute equal offender. It's perfectly fine if they're visible. Doesn't
matter. I know you want to look at my girls' bras. Shut up, Mecca. Shut up, Mecca. No, I'm joking. My bad.
I'll just
I gotta stay like right center on the thing, or it puts me blurry. It might just be your vision, man. How much you been drinking tonight, dude?
I'm on technically my second booster and 2 beers plus that. But anyway, the point is that me and my friend had this really weird, wholesome moment where all these 8, 9, 10-year-olds are screaming for let's go Cena. And we're like, we're Kane fans tonight. And meanwhile, we're like interacting with these 8-year-olds. They're looking at 21-year-olds and they're like, these guys, but we're treating these kids with some respect and we're trying to outperform them. And they caught on probably about 20 minutes into the match that, okay. And you could tell that these 8-year-olds were having the time of their life with us. Their parents were looking at us and they realized also, but it was a very wholesome moment because you have these 8-year-olds saying at some point you could see in their eyes they're going to be like us, and they're going to root for the heels because they understand the difference. And it's a weird position again, but that's what wrestling is. It's a lot of fun because there was no hatred in a very complicated space where it's just you're rooting for your team, but you're enjoying the craft.
Well, yeah, and people that, especially now, people that enjoy. I mean, you know what it is. You know that it's not real, but these dudes are still, men and women are putting their bodies at risk, and that shit still hurts. Maybe it's not. Oh, we got to beat their ass, and it's all figured out and it's planned out, but it's still putting your body on the line and doing something. And I mean, you got to give. I hate all the false finishes. I don't hate them that much, but it's just like, okay, how many times, like, when is a finishing move a finishing move? When like, when does it finally put you? Why do I have to kick you in the face, in your chin with sweet chin music 5 times and then whack you in the head with the chair and still you're kicking out? What's going on here, man? You're not Mick Foley. Not everybody can do that shit.
I'll give an example where so John Cena's last match at Unforgiven where he beat Edge. No, not his last match, but that's not actually an accurate statement. So I'm going to revise myself. I'm going to correct myself. So John Cena had a match with Edge. It was a TLC match, and he put Edge through off the ladder. He gave him an FU, which became the AA, and he put him through 2 tables off of a ladder, grab the belt. That's a finishing move, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not that you just gave him an AA or an FU. You gave him an FU through 2 tables off of a 15-foot ladder. And I think that's an art that's been lost in wrestling. It's that we have those big moments. That was a big deal because it made Edge legit. It didn't make Edge legit. Edge was already legit. It made John Cena legit.
Right.
And I think that's an art where I agree with you that's been lost. Where it's kind of like when John Cena did that at Unforgiven in Toronto, Edge's hometown. Now we have a finisher. And I think I agree because I hate when there's like 15 false finishes.
Right. I mean, then you shouldn't have to do an FU or an AA through 2 tables to finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was like DDP, like, or the Stone Cold Stunner? People would like, once you got a stunner, it was done. It was done, right?
I think in a TLC match, it makes sense to do it.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah, I get you in a TLC match. I get that. I do agree. But
I agree that like if you're doing a last man standing match, you need that. But like if you're just doing a no DQ match, that's ridiculous.
yeah, I don't know. And again, like, when we talk about this shit, like, I feel like I'm just the old curmudgeon. Like, what grinds my gears is all these false finishes in wrestling. In my day, people would wrestle and a punch was a punch. Like, that's how I feel when I say this shit to you. Like, I feel so old school and so out of touch. Like,
But it's not though, because the problem here is that a lot. So
Harley Race. I just thought of that guy's name. My bad, dude. I'm so sorry. That name I couldn't think of. King Harley Race. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
oh, you're great, dude. Dude, I don't judge. You don't need to apologize.
We're talking about the out of shape and then it just clicked in my head. King Harley Race. That dude was a badass, but he did not look like a badass. He looked like some fat old man, but you wouldn't mess with him. My bad. I'm so sorry. I just
from me to you that you can be as offensive as you want. You can make as many jokes as you want. You could be uncensored as you want. You could be cancel proof as you want. Because I'm not going to judge you. Because again, I come from a place where I don't really give a shit. If I didn't want to talk to you, we would not be doing it on my channel and your channel in that nature. So
everybody else, Mecca, I'm not worried about you. I know you can't get offended, but what about all these other people that I'm trying to impress?
You know what it is? This is what I've learned. Most people don't get offended. Most people get upset, and the people that get offended, they got their own issues to deal with.
People get more upset about my misspellings and my me making like I think I spelled Norm McDonald. The R was a T. Or sometimes like autocorrect and people like, dude, like I actually it's like y'all would rather say point out this hey dummy, why don't you word your questions better or something like that. Like, hey, like I believe you understood it, right? Like you got what I was going for, right? Like
so I've come up with the perfect response for this. I said, okay, so you're not disputing my argument anymore. I'm great. This is so I'm notorious for long run-on sentences. And the second somebody starts attacking a grammar or a long run-on sentence, my response is saying, so you agree with the point of what I said because your response was, I didn't use a period. And I'm like, alrighty. And then my response back to them was saying, the period, you cannot, period, respond to me, period. And I purposely, and a bunch of people saw it, and a bunch of people were like, this kid's not being a troll. He's taken the whole thing to a new level. And my point is that that's your response.
Well,
So
I have catchphrases that I use. Like if they say, anytime somebody says something that I don't like, I say, I used to like you. And the best response I've ever gotten to, I used to like you. You don't even know me. No shit, dude. This is fucking YouTube. You don't fucking know me either, bro. Like, what do you? Or if they say something I like, I say, did we just become best friends? Or what else do I say? Like, oh, I did I just fall in love with you? You know, I say stupid stuff, and like people, because I'll like when I see something like that, I say, did we just become best friends? Somebody said, yeah, we became best friends like 3 or 4 comments ago. This is like the 3rd time you said it to me, because I don't like technically look at the name and be like, oh, this is so and so. I just say my standard catchphrase to whoever, like however it's going, and that people get like not offended, but it's like, guys, like what
it's funny. It's funny.
YouTube, guys.
What'd you say?
I said this is YouTube. Like most, like I mean, guys, this is YouTube or TikTok. Like this is not that. Like there's nothing that we can do or say on here that's really gonna upset me. And guess what? We definitely aren't changing anybody's mind. Like I promise you right now, nobody has been scrolling through our stuff and be like, oh my gosh, that guy Keenan really is hitting the button tonight. He is saying exactly what I was saying. My mind is changed.
It's interesting. I mean,
LA Knight is a piece of shit. That's what I did. I changed somebody's mind tonight. Like,
you moved me a little bit. You moved me a little bit. I'm an LA Knight fan, but you moved me slightly. But the seeds are already planted. You just watered the seeds and they sprouted.
But I mean, the fact that anybody's sitting there like typing and like, dude, come on, guys. This is
so. I'm going to challenge you on the YouTube thing a little bit, and we're going to get a little deep, but I think it's relevant. So I've obviously shifted people's opinions, because on certain things, investing, people have shifted mine, but it's taken a lot. But also, people have to be wanting that, and people have to be saying, "I agree with you." So people have to want a shift. And that's what it is. So I'm sure, and people have openly said, hey, you kind of shifted my opinion on A, B, and C, and you have a fair point. But also, I mean, I'm sure your ideas have shifted as an individual. And so my ideas as WWE as a collective and as a company have shifted. Do I think WWE is a fantastic company? Without a fucking doubt. I think they are the best entertainment company in the planet. I really do believe that. What they
I
have
don't know about the best energy. I mean, they're really. I mean, they're a great company. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think they do great stuff. But the best entertainment in the planet. Come on, man. Come on, man. There's a Netflix out now. I'm fucking with you, Mecca.
No. It's a fair position. I mean, I could you could make an argument. I think they are an amazing company, and there was a friendship that was actually ended because of WWE, and the person didn't understand. I said, if you don't know what WWE is, you're moronic. And the point of the conversation was that WWE is like Disney. They build fun and they sell you fun. They sell you a fun time. They sell you a great product. Disneyland and WWE are the exact same thing. They're trying to sell you a fun dream and a fun experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the person was like, they don't pay their independent contractors. And I'm like, all the people who go to WWE are big boys and girls. And the person's like, and then they brought it into politics. And I'm like, you got to realize, dude, I wasn't stating anything political. I was stating that WWE sells fun. And that's what I think, going back to wrestling, going back to AEW, I don't think AEW fully understands that they are selling fun. I don't have a fun time watching AEW. I have a fun time watching WWE.
Right. And I mean, AEW is just it's like it's like I can't even explain. It's like indie wrestling that doesn't know that they're indie wrestling. Like I respect AEW so much more if they were like they would be like if they were just a territory wrestling company and we saw a pay-per-view from them like every 3 or 4 months or something, it was more of like a specific thing, I might be able to get into it. Like maybe if you just heard like, man, did you hear about this house show at AEW? Did you hear like, man, they did like if they went back, if they took it back to more territory type shit, to where it was like, because in this day and age, you can't compete with WWE and all the content they have, and like, how are you gonna put it out there? But if you went city to city, town to town, sold out arenas, gave a different product, did you know what I mean? Like you could still make enough money to pay off your wrestlers and build something to become a bigger company to where you'd be like, hey, you start a groundswell. And maybe you don't start off with a Chris Jericho and a Cody Rhodes or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you start out and you build these wrestlers from the ground up. Like they paid the Big Show fucking stupid. I mean, you're paying people money for no reason just because their name looks, you know, you got Sting up there. You got, dude, these people are all old. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I respect the hell out of Sting, but you have no reason to be. Take your ass backstage, bro. Nobody needs to see you out front. Like, what?
I agree.
Unless I would love to see if Sting came out and was a silent kind of Paul Heyman type, and you just saw like the Sting face kind of just standing behind a Roman Reigns type. I might be into that. That might be kind of a cool, like you get the crow Sting and he's just silent and doesn't say shit. Just kind
Fair
of
enough. It could be interesting for sure.
I think that AEW they do have some talent, but I think they just misuse all their talent. They listen to people like, and I don't even know anything about the Young Bucks. They might be good at what they do, but from what I understand is they're not good at. They're like they want to be the NWO or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's just promote our friends. Hey, let's just. At least from me looking on the outside, you might know more than me. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, I have a Young Bucks story if you would like to hear it.
Nobody ever wanted to hear a Young Bucks story. No, I'd like to hear it. Let's see what you got.
So it was a cold day one day. No, that's not how that story got.
It was dark and stormy, and the Young Bucks came over.
That's exactly what happened. So,
and they said, "Baby, it's cold outside." No, I'm joking. My bad.
So the Young Bucks and Kazarian and Chris Daniels were signing at a comic shop. Unfortunately, I could not go because I was in DC taking a final at the same time they were signing. So luckily, I had some trusty individuals to go sign the print, and they were my parents. So there's this photo of Chris Daniels, Kazarian, and the Young Bucks, all with taking pictures with my mom and my dad holding the Ring of Honor titles. And so my mom took pictures with Chris Daniels, Kazarian, and the Young Bucks are very nice people. They're like, would you like to take pictures with us? And so there's all these pictures of my dad and my mom holding the titles they had in the comic shop. And there was like 25 people there. And it's the weirdest thing ever because it's like you got some of the best wrestlers in the world in a comic shop, but there's only 25 people. Like,
right.
It was right before Death Before Dishonor at Ring of Honor. So,
and from what I know about the Young Bucks, wasn't like that was probably when they were at their best, or when I first heard of them, and like okay, these might have something, but then I think that maybe that they felt like their shit don't stink once they got to AEW. Like, okay, now we're the top dogs or something. Maybe I'm wrong, dude. Again, I feel like I'm just regurgitating what I hear off the Jim Cornette experience or some shit.
Honestly, from what I know about the Young Bucks, I had an opportunity to interview them. I kind of fucked that position up, and that definitely not one of my final moments. I did get to interview Chris Daniels. I did get to interview Kazarian, and I had an opportunity, and I really, really, really messed that one up. But never say never.
I feel like that's a better story than the fucking your parents. How'd you mess that one up, man?
It was just timing, and I didn't pursue it.
Okay.
So sometimes in life, we don't all bat 1,000, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it. You just made it sound like it was like I messed that one up. Like you made it sound like it was going to be a really good mess up story. Like I was
No,
drunk
no,
and
no.
naked and walked into the Bucks not prepared at all. My underwear was hanging out of my fly. Like that's what I was expecting, man. And you're just like, no, I just didn't follow through. That's man.
I should have been more attentive, and it's
You
definitely
probably
a good lesson. It wasn't like any bad blood. I've done plenty of that. I've been drunk on shows. I made an ass of myself. No question about that either.
you're doing a good job of it right now. You're making a total ass of yourself.
That's the plan. If
Yeah.
I can do it with anybody, it's with you.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, we both look. It's Friday night and we're on here. We look like the two biggest fucking losers. I didn't even think about that. We decide like it's a Friday night. People are gonna be like, "What are these two guys doing? Like with their
Oh, this is
life?
every Friday now.
Where what?
This is gonna be every Friday, isn't it? Till WrestleMania is over. I mean,
Oh my
wait till
god,
you think
we're just the two big. I can't think of anything more lame than us two hanging out every Friday night. If you
no,
want to see two losers, never. No, I'm joking.
it would
Yeah,
be awesome.
I'm down. Like I think that, and we haven't really even talked about the whole conundrum that WWE has themselves in with WWE with Rock. I was about to say their name twice for some stupid reason. With I with the Rock, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. It almost feels like I don't know what it feels like. Like I almost lost my thought right there. It just feels like we're gonna be let down no matter what it is now. Like when you see Roman and Cody come WrestleMania, like, oh, but what if like what it could have what if it was this? I mean, is The Rock gonna come run down and that whole bloodline shit? He's like, when you talk about my family, ooh, and then they brought up that Uso shit. That was a good line. I haven't talked to Jay Uso lately, have you? He's not a part of your little bloodline thing, is he? Hey, Rock, where have you been for the past half a decade when this guy's been claiming your shit, dude? And now you want to come out you talking about my family, it's his family. And no, it was just a thing that your grandfathers said to each other that I'm almost positive that y'all two don't give two
So
fucks
this
about.
is what I don't understand. If they're talking about the bloodline, if The Rock's involved, where's Nia Jax in this shit?
Is
Right?
it?
Like
Yeah.
Nia Jax is technically part of the bloodline.
I don't know. They put all it's all just is Nia Jax the Rock's or daughters like running NXT or doing something in NXT now, right?
She's running NXT. Let's call it what it is.
The whole thing's so damn and I mean really and truly like and I mean I'll give credit where credit is due. Brian Last on Jim Cornette like pointed out like The Rock has not had a great like half a decade. Like he has had a bunch of bombs coming out. Like when was the last? I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. When was the when was the last good Rock thing come out? No, I'm sorry. I apologize for sneezing.
Okay, the last good Rock thing that came out was
Or
what?
Dwayne
Fast
Johnson.
7?
My bad.
Fast 7? Maybe Fast 6? I mean, really, if we're
What was the one where he called out Tyrese or Ludacris for the big forehead thing when he walked back there and he's like, "Hey, you do the muscles day?" He's like, "Hey, you got a big forehead or some shit." That was probably his peak performance, at least for me. At least for and I'll tell you what I really wanted. I wouldn't have mind seeing The Rock in Big Trouble Little China.
That could be interesting. I just want to say Kyle Willis just commented. I like Kyle a lot. Kyle's great. Kyle's been very nice to me. Kyle definitely helped me in a lot of ways, and
Are they laughing with us or
I don't
at
know if
us?
he's laughing at me or you or
Oh, he's not
us.
laughing at me for sure. It's definitely you because I don't know this
Oh,
man.
clearly,
I'm
it's a
joking. I'm
without a
joking.
doubt,
I'm
without a
joking.
doubt.
Somebody else said we want Cody Rock sucks with a big frowny face. I I don't uh, I don't even I don't think I don't even want to see I don't want to see The Rock wrestle. I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't have some
I'm not
need.
interested either.
I did
I don't know how you feel.
maybe when Roman first started this bloodline shit on the head of the table, why didn't Rock come back then and then put Roman over? Then maybe you're the head of the table, bro. Then
Right.
that
Didn't
would
he
have been a
wrestle?
good fucking storyline. As soon as he came out of the head of the table shit, Rock comes back and Rock gets his ass whooped.
So this is my whole position. It's WrestleMania 40, right? It makes sense. So the time to have done this would have been WrestleMania 35 if it was ready for it. I understand they weren't ready for it, but I don't think doing it last year would have made any sense because WrestleMania 39, who gives a flying fuck about WrestleMania 39? I'm interested in WrestleMania 40. We've been doing this shit for 40 years, everybody. So I get that Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 40 makes sense.
But
Okay. That because you got the stellar fight, right? It's like Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. That's exactly what this would be like.
yeah.
So I get the whole pump up, the whole idea that this is gonna whatever happens is gonna be in the books for life in wrestling.
Yeah.
Whether this is fake, kayfabe, societal, whatever you want to
The
call it.
problem is that they put it in Cody's hands. Like they made it to where Cody gets the choice, and he can't. If you're Cody, you can't pick. I mean, the Seth Rollins belt. I don't know anything about that belt or what's going on with it or what, but it does seem like
It doesn't finish the story. And that's been the narrative from last year. And it's impossible to pivot out of that. And that's the
But
issue.
then once you finish the story, what's the next? I don't even know what the next. If Cody wins the belt come WrestleMania, what's the next step
Retirement.
for who? Roman?
For Cody. That's the only next step.
Cody has to. He just won the fucking belt, and now his next step is retire. Oh my gosh!
No. No. I'm telling you what the next step is after he wins the belt. That's the only logical conclusion. Because what is he going to do? Defend the belt? It makes there is no next step for Cody. The only step for Cody is retirement, and it's a bad one. Same thing with Roman. Cody is WWE hasn't thought this through yet.
I think you're right. I would be okay with watching. I could watch Cody chase the belt for a long time. I could watch, and you keep the heel champ Roman.
I don't think you take the belt off of Roman. I don't. I don't see
I
it.
agree. I think you do. You have to have that head of the. I think you have to have, and they shouldn't have let fucking Cody should have lost to CM Punk at the Rumble, and then you got. I don't know.
Cody. So this is when I think this should have all.
Hold on.
I think WrestleMania should have gone to somebody else.
What's up?
Oh, sorry. Is this all trash in here?
Yeah, I was gonna put it out. You don't take it all at once.
Also, where's Jack's bag?
Right here.
Decided to mute your mic for part of that to give you privacy.
Trash bag in here?
Yeah, I've got a bag for it, Kelly. There you go.
Oh, thanks. Sorry to inconvenience you. Shit.
All right, well, I guess the show's over. I guess the show's over, dude. What is this?
I don't know.
What happened here? Live visibility. All right, man, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, dude. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. I don't. Again, I don't judge. I don't attack. Life happens. Trust me, plenty of fucking shit happens in my life. And I'm okay with that.
So we don't know. I don't know what their next move is. I have no idea. I guess I am excited to see what happens and what. Like I don't know how they're gonna come back. I think they're so painted into a corner. I don't know what options they have.
So yeah, I don't really get it. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they don't know how to transition out of Roman. Roman should have not have held this belt for as long as he did. And this is the problem: is that because with wrestling, you need to build up your champion, and you need to figure out how to drop the title to somebody, and then you gotta let it go. And it's kind of like they did a great job with John Cena, right? Where he chased the belt, he got it. He dropped the belt, he got it. Like the whole Edge thing with John Cena was great. You
Mm-hmm.
had almost 18 months of John Cena getting the belt, chasing the belt, getting the belt, chasing the belt. And it was great because guess what? You built a freaking storyline. And then when John Cena is not getting the belt, you notice you put John Cena as the US title, and you now have a really cool position where you got this top championship caliber giving people real opportunity. And then he eventually drops the US title. I think he dropped it to Kevin Owens, which made Kevin Owens look great. And so the
Yeah.
whole thing is that this is where I don't know how you move out of Roman because you can't give Roman a US title.
Do you
That
think Roman held it for so long because it was a Vince McMahon thing trying to shove Roman Reigns down our throat?
maybe I also think they just didn't have an idea where I think the roster was weak for so long and now the roster is stronger. But how do you find the guy? Because whoever topples Roman, right? It's kind of like Roman beat The Undertaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Brock should not have beat The Undertaker the
No.
first round. Roman should have had that honor. And it should have been like 30-1, and Roman should have ended The Undertaker's reign. But even that was, I think, stupid by
Yeah.
WWE. I think it was one of the dumbest decisions WWE has ever made. They should have left The Undertaker's streak at Mania 30-0 because it would have gone down. And nobody needs to beat The Undertaker's legacy.
And it's not that. I mean, running WrestleMania 30 times isn't that grand of, you know what I'm saying? It's not a grand legacy. Yes, you won it 30 times in a row, but it's not like the end all be all. It wouldn't have been that much to let him keep that legacy. That's not something you have to hand the torch over, you know. There's plenty of times where Undertaker and other people have put the other guy over. You didn't have to give up that streak.
I think it was a dumb decision by WWE, and I think it's going to haunt them for the next 50 years. I really do. And even with Roman, I think you didn't need to take it away. It was an amazing fallacy.
All
And
we need is for Roman to come up in this Vince McMahon shit, and then the belt is off of him. Done, taken care of. I just thought of it.
you know what is? It's crazy. So many people are coming up. Stephanie came up in that shit. I mean, Brock's in that shit.
Brock's, I thought Stephanie was like, I thought her and that shit. That's why she kind of left. Like anytime Vince came back, she's like, "No, I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want anything
Shane
to
left
do."
because of Vince. Shane has been more. I don't know if the record is saying I left because I don't want to be like my father.
And I
Shane,
thought that Stephanie and Shane like kind of had a problem with the way Vince treated their mom. Like,
Patrick Bet David had a very interesting comment on this. And what he said is that when your children don't want to be involved in your business, there's something wrong with your business.
you know,
So there's a difference between if you're selling. So there's two types of business. There's businesses that are perfect for certain people, right? I sell comic books on eBay. If my kid is into music, the business is not going to work for my kid, right?
right?
So that's fine. But if your kid loves comic books and you're selling comic books and your kid says, I don't want to work with my dad, that's a problem. Because
Right.
clearly there's something else in the position. So if I'm not a lawyer, but my father is, if I became a lawyer and I didn't want to work with my father, that would be a problem because that means that there's two things. It's either I love my dad and I don't want to complicate business, or I hate my dad and I really don't want to be in that business because he's doing something wrong, right?
Right.
I don't want to be in business with my friends. Me and my friends, we do not do business together because I don't want those complicated positions with my friends. And we all agree that, hey, we enjoy each other's company. We enjoy watching football. We enjoy watching wrestling, but we don't want to be in business together. It has
Right.
nothing to do with because I want my friendships, not my business with my friends. And because guess what happens? If one of my friends does something really dumb in the business, we have to have awkward conversations.
Right.
And I think it's crystal clear that Stephanie and Shane do not like what Vince has done, and they knew a lot of this shit. And
Right.
all you got to do is just get some dirt on Roman with Vince, and we're good to go. Belt's off of him.
Right. And I mean, I do like the Rock and the Triple H kind of. I like how Triple H's promo on the Rock, like I don't what I don't. It doesn't matter what his promo where he ripped on the Rock was great. I like that. I see some of the things. I see some flashes of like, okay, this could be genius, but then again, how the hell are we gonna like literally? I feel like they need to have like a small battle royale, maybe Triple H, Seth Rollins. Let's throw Randy Orton in there because he'll get them some views. The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. I mean, let's just do a quick little battle royal and everybody in all at once, and whoever comes out wins. I mean, that's how you get it. I think they painted themselves into such a corner that but I could be completely wrong, and whatever they think of could be completely genius, dude. So I
Well,
have been wrong before.
me too, me too. I'm probably more wrong than most.
Who do you,
Um,
if they figure this out, who do you think gets the credit for it? Do you think it's like you think it's like a Triple H thing? You think it's Bruce Pritchard in the background? Who do you think gets the credit if they figure out all this shit?
I think Nick Khan is gonna get the credit for it.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think Nick Khan, for those who don't know and watching this either now or later, Nick Khan is I think right now running WWE as their president / CEO, and I think that Nick Khan will get a lot of credit. I think Triple H will get credit, and I think that is going to be very interesting. But also, so you notice it's going to be what it's going to be. But Endeavor knows what they're doing. TKO knows what they're doing, and
We'll see.
you know, I think this problem's going to be solved. I think that they are in a position. I think that they're being, and I'm curious what you think, is that I think they are in a position where they are almost too big to fail. Where with this Netflix deal, Monday Night Raw, and a bunch of other stuff, they are way too big to fail. And I think the problem's going to fix itself.
I mean, shit, the video library alone, they could, I mean, they wouldn't have to put out new, I mean, there are enough wrestling marks out there in the world. The WWE network could keep going without any new content, probably for a good decade before The Last of Us die off.
You make a great point where I don't know how you feel, but obviously you're a content creator. So it's and I'm curious your thoughts because you make a great point. I don't anymore view my interviews as an interview. The interview is actually not the main source that I think is going to be my revenue moving forward. It's all the micro content that could be developed out of that interview. So I don't know how you cut up interviews, but I cut up interviews where I get anywhere from 10 to 15 pieces of content on an hour interview. On a 2-hour interview, I'm looking at 30 to 40 pieces of content. So, and that's TikToks, that's 3-minute clips. And I think WWE has huge amounts of content. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, that's what we talked about here. Like what I would take, like depending on the topic, like I would take maybe what I was talking about, like Triple H versus The Rock. That could be one video. Cody, The Rock, Seth Rollins, like us talking about that. That could be one video. Then us discussing, well, what if Cody and Seth really get together? All those could be and all that's like the same conversation, just from different takes. So we from just something like this, you can make a bunch of content for out of nothing. I mean, right now, I mean, if I take this conversation and just make like a 3-minute video and then put a thumbnail on it of just a bunch of pictures of like the Rock, and I can just Google thumbnail Rock, Cody Rhodes, said blah blah blah, and they'll come up with something for me. Something will be out there, and I'll just boom, not a problem. Yeah, okay. Because I don't know where you're at, but I am nowhere near the point of like what people like me actually like me getting my stuff done. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless I can get shit done perfectly, I almost feel like F it, you get what you get. You know what I mean?
This is where I'm at, is that I am looking at so every piece of micro content is just a funnel in. And obviously I've shifted up some stuff where I'm now adding and I haven't announced this yet, and it'll probably come out maybe June, some of the content, because I'm so far ahead scheduled in my micro content. My micro content comes out at 3 o'clock every single day during the Monday through Friday. And I've
Right.
scheduled June. It's crazy because I just started putting up shit. And when I took 6 weeks off from doing interviews, and I just cut up content every day, and I was packed doing interview after interview, and I have literally 55 pieces of content. I'm adding more and more and more and more. So my whole thing is that I'm now putting my eBay store in a 2-second ad before all my content. So the way I view things is that every single new video I release, I don't give a shit what it does in viewership. On micro content, I have about 120 TikToks that I got to release. Again, I don't care their views. I care that they're in play. Because when something's in play, because what I've discovered, and I don't know what you discovered, is over time, my content does very well.
Yeah, I mean, and it all depends on what you get. Like I think like the best piece of original content, because I do stupid shit, like personal, like I do frozen pizza reviews, like just Red Baron. You tell me, I tell you what I think about it. Or I tell you, like, because on YouTube, if you're a premium member, you get access to movies. So I give you a top 10 list of my favorite free movies off of YouTube. And then I do my podcast on Wednesday nights, and that adds a bunch of content. But I'm so tired of editing. Like I'm just over it. I'm over it completely, and I'm all good. Like I understand the short form content, the micro content. What I'm tired of doing is long form editing, because I don't have because you're supposed to do everything flashy. Like right now with our conversation, maybe we should have like a head pop up, or like Roman Reigns head spinning, something like that. You know what I mean? I can't do that shit. So why not? I'm like literally and really and truly like this conversation going out live. Like this is you know what I'm saying? Like this is the content right now. I might cut it up and do micro content, do some shorts, do some TikToks, maybe do a couple 3-minute videos of what we're talking about, like the actual Roman Reigns rock shit or whatever, like the specific things that we hit. I'll probably cut out all your terrible shit. But I'm joking. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think there's way more. I have so much. I could literally, and my podcast on Wednesdays, it's evergreen content. All we talk about is 90s stuff. So I could literally not do another Waffle House podcast, and I could probably put out content for like the next 2 or 3 years.
If I stopped doing interviews, I would have content probably for the next decade. Because when you have 700 interviews and you could cut up 700 interviews, you have infinite content. And I've learned that I'm now monetizing my content. And again, I have content from anywhere from porn stars to voice actors to comic creators to cosplayers to crypto people. So at a certain point, you say, okay, I got a lot of content of a lot of top people. And then every week, when you're doing 3 or 4 interviews a week, it's like, holy fucking shit, you're running a fucking media company. And it's awesome. And when people don't understand is that I'm getting to speak to whoever I want to. If I
Right.
don't want to speak to you, we would not be speaking.
And we,
And
we don't have editors. We don't have people that can just, here you go, man, cut this up, put this out there for me. You have to edit it. So we just spent we're going on 2 hours. We just spent 2 hours talking. And now if you want any of this content to be anything separate, you have to go back and cut it out and figure out what you want. And find out, okay, and our dumbasses, it's not like we talked about everything purpose fuck that word. It's not like we talked about everything specifically and did, okay, let's go by this and this and that. We talked about the Rock and Roman Reigns here, and then we talked about Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and all this shit over. You know what I'm saying? So like, to find content, we might have to go through the entire 2 hour interview or the entire 2 hour talk.
it's interesting because when I do an interview, I block it out. So obviously, when I do free form and comic hangouts or wrestling hangouts, it is very much unscripted. But when I do an interview, it is scripted. So there's a reason how I build an interview purposely.
Well, yeah, interviews are different than interviews are different from what me or you are doing. Interviews, you kind of think, okay, well, I'm gonna ask him about what he's doing here. I'm gonna ask him about this. You kind of block it out. Like I said, like people tell me, like my mom or my girl will be like, hey, you should write out scripts because I see you. Like, if I had to write out a script for the amount of topics that me and you touched on, like I wouldn't have thought of the King Harley race shit for any reason at all, dude. I have a joke. I have a joke about my girl didn't want to watch the movie Black Panther came out. And whenever a superhero movie comes out, I go and see it first because all she does is ask questions the entire time. So she says, "Hey, I think I want to see this movie Black Panther." And so I said, "Okay, I've already seen it. I'm down to go see it." And she said, "Why have you already seen it?" I said, "Well, it's a comic book movie. I've seen all those before." She's like, "It's not about the Black Panther Party?" I'm like, "No, it's called Black Panther. It's not called the Black Panther Party. It's not called Fred Thompson, a biography of a Black Panther." And the only reason I know the Fred Thompson part is because he came up on Netflix, and I tell this joke so many times, it's now ingrained in my head. It's not that I'm so smart and know a Black Panther. It's just that just frustrating as hell. Just frustrating as hell. Just how you gonna be that entertainment stupid? That entertainment
My,
stupid.
my point is that I don't think so. When I do an interview, I have a script in front of me of what I write, what I'm doing, and I have a pretty good idea. But even still, I go through the fucking thing because half the time, 5 minutes after, I forget what I asked. It's because I have a million thoughts, and I don't have a million thoughts because I have a day job. I run an eBay business. I run, obviously my show. And then guess what? I also want to just read a fucking book, man. Like and then I'm into baseball cards. So like there gets a point where there's only so much that my brain can.
Have you heard of Audible, bro? They read it to you, dude. It's the best thing ever.
I'm reading manga right now heavily, so I'm reading a lot of comic books. So it's
Mm.
kind of hard to Audible like. And Luffy punched Blackbeard, and I'm like, I could read. I could see the picture though. So
The
it's
best
like,
thing my son has right now is that he's listening to James and the Giant Peach, and it's like a whole group of like Roald Dahl books. It's read by Roald Dahl. Like that's the coolest thing ever. Like my son is listening to a book read to him by the author. Like that's kind of some goat shit. Like I don't have a good author that I can just pull out of my head from when I was a kid, dude.
Tal Klein reading Punch Escrow is pretty cool.
I didn't have Stephen King reading me It or something when I was a kid, Or was that what was the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas guy? Hunter. I didn't have Hunter S. Thompson reading Fear and Loathing in
I love
Las
Hunter
Vegas.
S. Thompson.
That'd have
Hunter
been great. Could you imagine that Audible? Hunter S. Thompson reading you Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
He's good. Who else is in that vein? Charles Bukowski reading Post Office. Come on, you know Post Office, right? That's a fantastic book.
I'm telling you, man. Like, could you imagine like the stuff that these kids get to like wrap their heads around and shit today. Man, screw you guys. So I mean, I literally, I'm not a fan of my son just because he got shit so nice and easy. Like, you bastard, you got shit so nice. All right, Mecca. I better get off this fucking thing before we're going on 2 hours. How are we gonna talk? Did we even talk about what we wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, we talked about everything that I wanted
Did
to
we
talk
figure out what WWE is gonna do with this whole Cody Rhodes debacle?
Oh, of course not. I don't know, but I
I'm
do want to
telling
give
you,
you.
I almost think that they're faking the CM Punk injury just because they're like, dude, we got too much. It's like they got too much content. Triple H just went to see him like, hey, bro, I need you to take a step back for a minute. I got to figure out this whole Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns bullshit first.
Drop the straight edge for 5 minutes, have a beer, and you got to take a chill. Go get your wife pregnant.
Yeah. Have you ever heard? Have you heard Jim Cornette singing his song like Mussolini? It is the best. It is the best. Every time he does it, like, and his co-host Brian Last is just like, "Oh my, you're killing me, dude!" Every single time he's like, every time they bring up CM Punk, he goes like Mussolini, and then he makes up the next line every single time. It's so funny. But I'm gonna quit giving, like, literally everything I talked about today was probably me just spewing back some Jim Cornette bullshit to you. I apologize. So look,
fine. I have no
any of my ideas I just took from Jim Cornette. I give it all to him. I give him all the props.
Oh man, Jim Cornette is a fascinating, great individual. But enough about that. I do want to give you a chance to promote yourself. Where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, disturb you?
My stuff's all messed up, man. I'm at YouTube Bob's Product. You can find me there. That's the easiest one to do. Bob's Product YouTube. Anything else is everything's all in shambles, or just my personal Keenan Press Facebook. Nothing special. I'm not like you. I'm not a self promoter like you at all times. Like you unselfishly self promote yourself. Like nobody's better than Mecca. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Hey, I absolutely promote myself.
I interviewed porn stars, bro. Like that was a name drop. Like I like.
Hey,
like,
I just had Savannah Fox on. I had Kenna Valentina on.
Nobody else, like literally, like when you drop that, like I've been comic book creators. When the porn star, you can almost hear the drop in the bucket in the background. Like, yeah, there you go. Your name dropping,
baby.
Name dropping, some a bitch. All right, where can we find you at, man? Like, are these all? Is this what I thought? When did you change your name from the pop culture? Was it something different the last time I came through? Or?
No, it's always been in conversations in pop culture. It's been that way for like 4 or 5 years now. And
okay, well, I could have sworn maybe it was like a blue something or other. Maybe I'm just stoned, bro. Who knows? Who knows, dude? You're drunk. I'm stoned. We're quite a pair, dude. We're not getting anything done in this life.
I also just didn't change the background because I'm really lazy. And
okay, dude, we were all about pop culture, bro. Like, so we. Oh, wait, real quick before we get off, what'd you think about the Iron Claw movie?
I did like MJF in that.
Okay, don't be fucking bring. No, I asked you a serious question. You're gonna bring up the half a bit part. Like, what'd you like about it? Him smiling on camera for 2 seconds?
No, I just like the fact that he got a movie credit. Guy needs a break.
I'm a Texas boy, man. I actually went to the sportatorium when I was. I can't remember it, but my daddy's that white trash hillbilly that took me to the sportatorium when I was a kid, man.
I'll be honest. I thought it was an okay wrestling movie. I didn't think it was great.
Huh?
I really didn't. I thought the hype was better than it was. I thought it was okay. I was not. I went in and I was a little disappointed, to be honest. Because it just didn't do it for me, and I'm sorry. Like,
it's because you're not from Texas. Number one, you didn't live the Von Erich culture. As I mean,
fair enough.
The Von Erich culture and I mean, it was for real in Dallas, dude. You just like it just didn't end in Dallas. Like have you ever seen the Pizza Hut commercial of all the Von Erichs?
I have not.
Dude, YouTube the pizza commercial, the Von Erichs, because they were like local legends around here, man. When those dudes died, like I'm telling you. But I I I thought they could have done a little bit better in some of the parts of the movie, but Zac Efron made a good. Not Carrie, whatever the fuck the other guy's name is.
I guess I just didn't have a connection to it, and I was like, okay, it's a movie, and here we are. So for me, I
I
think
used
it
to
was
like
great.
you, man. I used to like you. Now you just ruined it. Just ruined it.
Sorry, it's all right. I tend to do that for people. I'm disappointed for most people. Um, which there's so many jokes that can come out of that, but I'm choosing not to say them because they might not be.
Good. Don't get us canceled right here at the end, man. Like we made it through this entire. We didn't get it. Oh wait, first I want like you need to check out this app, the Clapper. Like it's called Clapper. I love it. Like I love the name most of all. Like most of all, just like who comes up, and it's such an like if you look on this, it's all old ass people talking some. Oh man, like it is nuts. It is like I'm like because you can't get away with shit on TikTok anymore. Like everything we talked about could get us canceled on TikTok today.
So right, I've been canceled like 10 times in the last weekend TikTok, so it's all right. I've been
Well,
canceled on eBay. I get canceled all the time, and I'm perfectly happy with all that.
I'm
But
sure
I
you are. I'm sure you like the hate. I'm sure that's what you feed off of. You're a heel. That's what you are.
am
You're
very much a heel. I'm very much
yeah.
a
I don't like you, bro. Shit, man.
It's all right. I sleep fine at night.
Yeah, so let's is Elimination Chamber this weekend?
It's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Well, let's get together after the Elimination Chamber at some point. And we'll talk about what we think our thoughts are for now. Now that we saw what they didn't do.
This is every Friday night, everybody. I'm just gonna
I,
get a
I,
camera and start wrestling. That's
I am
every
excited
Friday.
to see the Joe Biden and Donald Trump duke it out in the middle of the ring. I think they're called AJ Styles and LA Knight. I'm excited for that. I'm excited. It's gonna be. I mean, an arm's gonna fall off. Maybe if somebody gets hurt, I already apologize right now. If I called it out, somebody got hurt. I'm sorry, AJ Styles, but y'all are too old for this shit, man. Yeah,
But
like,
we'll get together after Elimination Chamber.
all right,
We'll
man.
a whole breakdown, but I do want to promote myself because I
Yeah,
am selfish apparently. So
yeah.
I am Pop Anime Comics on Twitter/Instagram. I am Pop Anime Comics on Instagram. I am Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. I am Pop Anime Comics on TikTok. My eBay store is Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. My YouTube is Pop Anime Comics. Notice a trend, everybody, and
Yeah, no, you were smart. You were smart. I for some reason there I was like, let me do and it just happened in happenstance. At some point I'll get all my shit together, but I don't think I care yet. Not like you.
And then, for those who are interested, I do have these in my store right now. They are Leaf Metal awesome cards, and some people are telling me they can't see them, which is all right. And I'm sorry,
Wait, they can't see him through what you just put up there?
they can't see it. Apparently, this card it's hard to see it. It's
I can see it
invisible.
perfectly. The guy, his hands held up in front of it. I can almost like see it perfectly, man. When you said people can't see it, I'm like, dude, it's right there. It almost looks. I'm not as we're getting way beneath my depths right there with that shit. I'm just gonna sound stupid if I say anything about it, so I'm not gonna say anything. Because I was about to say, what's that fucking video game my kid was I forget it, but yeah, that's what those guys look like. Whatever. I'm done.
So I do have those John Cena's in my store, and they're no longer available on the website that initially sold them. And so it is a very cool card. I am offering for a while that if you make me an offer on my eBay store, links in the description down below, I will take 32. If you say, hey, I saw this interview, and just type in, hey, I saw you on the internet, and would you take 32 for it? For a short time, I will absolutely take 32. Otherwise, I will charge you 38. A pop.
I like that. Hey, I saw you on the internet. Nothing ever bad happened from that comment. Hey, I saw you on the internet. Can I get some money off?
Hey. I like deals and I support
I
my
I
viewers.
watched you very creepily on the internet. You were talking to that weird guy. Yeah. The
And
one
then
show where
to
you don't do
go
an interview.
further into things, I have this right here, which is a hollow foil. I have all 15 of those. So you can pick that puppy up. If you're interested in that, I have those in my store right now. And then
Those boobies, bro. Jesus Christ. Those like I can't see that picture because the damn boobies are like the boobies are as big as that dude's hand was in his face. Like that's what I got. I got like sheesh, man.
I bought out the print run. It's in hollow foil and it's a beautiful book. I have all 15. So
And
as I state to everybody, I am more than happy to match anybody's price point, but I'm matching my own. So whatever I ask for that book, I could ask for it. And it's not
next time, just put her face over my because they don't need to see whatever's going on my side of it. I mean, really and truly, like who's watching? I mean, I really and truly think that my shit is made for YouTube Premium, so you can just kind of click it off and listen to my dumbass talk.
and then there's
Nobody wants to look at this like sitting there talking. See, there you go. See, boom, we could just talk the entire time, and it could not even be about this thing. We could have been talking about The Rock and Roman Reigns this entire time, and this would have helped the stream a lot more than anything else. That I mean, look, oh, wait, I need to go this way. My bad. I
they're
was bad
both
on the directions.
these
I went the
too.
wrong way. My bad. I can just hide
Again,
behind her.
Again, I have all 15 of these as well. So that's the other thing too. So if you're looking for that book, I'm actually asking
They're not
70 for that
sticky at
one.
all. They're all pristine in the package. Nothing's wrong with them. I promise you. This guy, he didn't. Yeah, met.
They're beautiful. They're all shiny. They're all beautiful, and they will come and they will grade as a 9.6 or a 9.8. I can assure you of that. But yeah, and then I got a few other things in my store. So if you're looking at it, links in the
What's your,
description.
so your store is Pop Anime Comics?
Pop Anime Comics Collectibles, and it's on eBay. Links in the description down below, everybody.
Do
And
you use that stand thing?
I don't I use eBay and
Well,
I'm
see that supposedly that stand thing is a way that you can like link everybody to your links instead of them having to go. Like you just like put the link to stand, and that stand gives you like links to your eBay, links to all your shows, links to
oh
your
no,
Facebook.
I put the links just in the description one by one, and
Right.
you can easily access it because but for this one I only just put the eBay link because I'm not going too crazy. I find that I purposely have a methodology that works beautifully, but I digress. That's level 2 stuff. But usually
Okay. What the fuck is okay? So see, Scientology. That's level 2 stuff right there, Keenan. This is
hey,
this,
Scientology has good daycare programs. Do not knock it until you try it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You just have to get slapped in the face a couple of times when you mess up some shit. Like, but that's level 3, Keenan. We can't talk about that yet. That's you have to get up. You got a funnel. It's not a pyramid. It's a funnel going up.
Remember though, if you get to level 5, you get to meet Tom Cruise.
Nobody, even Nicole Kidman never wanted to meet Tom Cruise. Like, what's her name? What was the Dawson's Creek? She never wanted to meet Tom Cruise. She regrets that shit. You get to meet Tom Cruise. God, who is Tom? Is Tom Cruise married now? He's got to be married now. But
I
you
mean,
never hear about whoever he's with. Like, you never.
that's
Now,
good.
I'm gonna have to Google who the fuck Tom Cruise is now. Once we get off of here, I'm gonna Google who is Tom Cruise with now, because I have no earthly idea.
We are absolutely making an enemy out of the Church of Scientology tonight. It's all right.
I'm literally interested. I want to know, like, what's Tom? Because I know, like, he's legit nuts still. He's still making Mission Impossible movies, but did he get remarried? Like, who is like, or is Tom Cruise just getting Scientology booty calls? Is that how it's like? He just gets deep, deep, deep. To be a Scientologist, you gotta.
There are so many jokes I can make, and I'm purposely not making any of them because I really don't want a litigation suit with Tom Cruise or the Church of Scientology tonight.
Dude, that's only gonna promote your brand and help. Could you imagine like the clicks you would get if you had Scientology Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise is really pissed off at this pop anime comics guy for some reason.
I mean, I heard
Tom Cruise just won't leave this guy alone. Like,
I heard Tom Cruise was working at a fudge factory.
oh my god. Oh my god. It'd be like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, except for you be over here and he be over there, and it'd be all that's that dude. I'm sold on that shit already. I'm more sold on that than the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes shit. Like, I'd rather see
You give me Tom Cruise in Hell in a Cell, and I'll enter the ring with Tom Cruise in Hell in a Cell.
Tom Cruise, Hell in a Cell, dressed as his character from Tropic Thunder. I am sold. I am sold. That fat bald dude, yes. Hairy everywhere, yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
Well,
We can add him to the match with he's just as old as Biden and Trump is in this next fight. So I mean, add him to the mix.
We might as well just get Donald Trump, Joe Biden, put Tom Cruise in there, get The Rock as a special ref, and put
It's a fatal 4-way elimination chamber. I'm trying to get myself in there, dude. Like, if we're just putting old crappy dudes into this thing, take me. Let's go.
Let me ask you a legit question. Would you pay to go into the elimination chamber? You, me, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, The Rock, and Tom Cruise. It'd be the highest rated elimination chamber. I'd pay $1 million to be in that match.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd pay whatever I could, because the amount, again, for what we do and for what, could you imagine the clicks and the views of, like, you talk about short content, imagine the 1-minute videos you could make and the millions of views you get off that shit, and like monetized immediately monetized.
Oh, it would make me so much money. It'd be ridiculous, but
immediately. Like, it's so, like, literally, I am so, like, dude, because between like my 4 platforms, I got like 100,000 people that look at my shit, but they're all separate, and they're all like set, like, they're all specifically for whatever, my 2 Facebook platforms are different. But I'm super amazed that even, like, what's wrong with you people? Because literally this is my demographic. So if I like it, then that, like, I'm pretty sure you are your demographic, and you can't be the only one. You can't be the only person that enjoys pop anime and porn stars. Pop anime. Dude, name change. Pop anime and pussy.
See, what's crazy is that people look at the porn star and they're like, oh man, it's an ass, they get fucked. And we have interesting discussions about the business aspect of the whole industry. And people are like, this is really fascinating. And like, I treat like all of the people I interview with massive respect. And people are like, this is a well thought out interview. And people are like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
You gotta, I mean, whatever it is, whatever the porn business, whatever, I mean, you cannot deny that it is a real business and that people's livelihood is based on that shit, and that you gotta respect that. Even if they're like, they're spreading their legs, they're doing this, even no matter what it is, you still gotta respect that they're putting their hard work into it, and that they're building a business out of it, and they gotta think like, hey, I've only got a few years. I got to build my brand as much as possible. Like, I need to make as much money as I can, because this isn't going to be a job until I'm 60.
That is true. That is true. But
Kansas Bureau of Did you see this? Lori Benton says Kansas Bureau of Investigation or anything?
I have no idea what that's referring to.
Neither do I. That's what I was like. I was like, do we like do it have what's the KBI?
I'll let you stall for a minute.
How can I stall? Like, yeah, I'm a federal agent. Okay. So, hi, how are you? Kansas Bureau of Investigation. I'm in Texas. Ooh, wee. Oh, we icky poo. I'm tired. I was about to get off the thing with this guy. It's late. What time is it? And he's like an hour ahead of me. Oh, it's only midnight over here, so it's like 1 over there. You know, don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know? Thanks for joining in, guys.
It's kind of weird. We got a federal agent here. I don't know.
I don't think they're not I mean, and who cares? And what did we say that needs a Kansas beer? I mean, do you live in Kansas?
I don't live in Kansas. I live
I
in
live in
Connecticut.
Texas. We're our own country, bro. Wait, it's actually the Cyber Crime Bureau.
Wonderful.
That's great. Can we help you in any way? Is this Dateline NBC or To Catch a Predator, starring Mecca and Keenan? We're here to find the people that need to be found.
Well, I'm all for what you do. If you are a federal officer and you stop cyber crimes,
you're a Law and Order fan. What do they say? What do they say at the beginning of Law and Order? Like,
you can go help Detective Benson find her case. Is all I'm gonna say.
I got a badge. That's what the Lori, like, and your name is like it says Lori Benton on here, and it's from my like. Maybe you shouldn't put your name on there. Like, why would it just say like KBI?
It's so weird. It's so weird, but I digress. If you are a federal agent and you're in the cyber crime thing, I hope you go stop what you're doing and you go catch some criminals. And I'm all for your support. I'm just gonna tell you one thing, and I'm gonna be very polite about it. You can't see me.
Oh crap! Maybe it was all the boobies you were putting on here, dude. Oh my gosh! No, I'm joking.
That's all I'm gonna say.
The drawn boobies are what got us in trouble for the cyber crime. Like, there's much. Come on now, guys.
But anyway, I'm gonna let you have the final word before Kansas comes after us.
She's coming after you. She don't want me. I'm too old for this shit. She's like, no, I want Mecca. Mecca's bringing them all in. All right, no final words. I'm excited to see what transpires. I'm pretty sure that whatever happens is gonna make me look stupid. Like, I really want them to come up with something that makes me look dumb. That'd be great. I want to come WrestleMania time, like, holy crap, I was so wrong, dude. I was so wrong about this shit. I can't believe that they blew my mind, dude. I cannot believe it. That's my final word.
I don't think I could have said that any better myself. And we'll catch up after Elimination Chamber, and I'm pretty sure we'll catch up after WrestleMania. And I think that is a wrap, everybody.
That's it for conversation.